again. Okay, hopefully this is working better now. I've got greens across the board. Yeah, that's fine. Stuff is working. Excuse me, what?
What? Is it still not accepting your stream key or whatever?
No, it seems to be working. No, I just saw something else. Atelier. Motherfucker's making claims.
Who's making claims?
Did you see Xbox Era's post?
No, what would I miss?
Try it again, motherfucker. It's not here. It's so hard to type over my laptop right now. Games, it doesn't even come up. I even made sure I spelt it right. A-T-E. Yep, not a single Atelier game. Not a single one. Okay. I think we basically good. Just is my pink shirt not good enough for people that don't like my Mean Girls reference? Oh, joke. What are we talking about today? All sorts of stuff. I wonder. I'm gonna try and keep it brief on the stuff everyone's heard about, but damn, damn. Sorry, I just had to. We just set someone in the comments on the Xbox era post. Like I've nothing against Xbox era, but seriously, don't just say bullshit. Expect me to not be
I didn't
okay
see
with
what
it.
they had said. What was it?
They tagged. They did an Atelier Marie review, and they tagged it with
Mhm.
Xbox, acting like it was on Xbox.
Ugh.
And then someone's like, "It's on the Microsoft Store." Kids, I looked. I have new toys now, so I can show you this. Hi everyone, welcome to some new feeds. How's it going? I'm Torloth. That's Justin. and I'm gonna show you how much of a full of shit this guy is. Welcome to the Windows Store. On Windows. Just make it full screen for you. I can't see the search bar, but you can see at the Patillier, it should have shown up. I'll go all departments. It ain't here. It ain't here.
Yeah, see, Brian's talking to someone about it.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. This is dumb. Very dumb. But yeah. There you go, guys. Want my proof? There it is. You want to say, oh, it's the not the Xbox app? Look up on the Xbox app. We'll do that too for you. How's that? I don't think there's anything incriminating here, so. The new fanciness. This is my laptop, so like, a lot of stuff is. I don't run a lot of games in here. Uh. Oh man. Yep. So much. Moving on. All right. Let's go to what we've been playing. This also has gotten a little bit of an overhaul.
Hmm.
I'll get the so the ID at Xbox showcase. Well, was it showcase? I don't remember what it was. I didn't actually watch it because I was just playing the demos that came up out of it. Like Alyssa here. Uh,
What was it, Alyssa? I don't know why I'm thinking it's Arissa.
it's Alyssa.
Yeah, I
A
totally.
L I. It said right there.
For some reason, there was an R instead of an L in my head the whole
Thank
time I was
God that it
playing
has
it.
modern control option.
Yes, I immediately turned that on too.
I was
I
like,
was like, cool, they have tank controls. Click it off.
I'm glad that you have something for the serious hardcore, but yes,
Yeah.
I
I
wasn't
also
sure
didn't
which one
do.
was yes, like which was which. So I'm like,
Mhm.
auto aim would be better.
It's funny. The first time I played through, I forgot that I hit no to the auto aim, and I was like, 20 minutes in, I'm like, this is fun, but the aiming kind of sucks. And then when I played it a second time, I was like, oh yeah, I could have turned this on, but I played without it, and then I got good at aiming after a bit. So, I appreciate that they have it because if you suck at the aiming, you can just turn that on. You do less damage, but you don't have to be frustrated with the controls. But I also appreciate that you can just fumble with it a bit because it kind of added to the horror element. It reminded me more of Resident Evil 1, where like you try to aim down at the zombie to hit them and whiff, and then panic run.
The small ones I couldn't hit very well, and my first death I was like, okay, I'm done. I'll probably pick this up when it's fully out and ready to play.
Hmm. Yeah,
What was with that guy's face and his toothpick?
dude, I love the fact that even though he's got the dumb toothpick, they reference it twice. At one point, if you try to talk to him when he's talking to the old guy, they're like, I have no idea how he can articulate those words so well. Well, he has got that toothpick in his mouth. And then the little cutscene where he trips and he chokes on his toothpick, I was like, there's no way. Oh my God.
It's
This
my
is great.
toothpick. What is with this guy? I don't know.
He had
Uh,
great voice acting too. Like, I
great,
was surprised.
great voice acting for this game. I don't know if
I
it was
mean,
great or not.
I love him and the little puppet. I feel like those were the two that were like surprisingly good.
Yeah, it's kind of weird that this game is more like Onimusha in a way because it's got
How
the
so?
puppet dude.
Hmm.
And you also have the melee weapons, which is interesting. Um, I think I was trying to figure out the controls right here, just playing around, see what does what.
I usually do that in the beginning of a game too, where like I'll test out every button or something and end up wasting ammo or accidentally interacting with something and I'm like, whoops.
Well,
All
with
right.
modern games, it's like this does this, this does that, and you know, if it's a third person shooter, it's basically point and click. This
Yeah.
was cool. But I've got some clips from some other games too later. But what other games did you play? Even if we don't have footage of it, we can just talk about it.
So I had played Alyssa. I had played Punch Club 2. I had played
Was Punch Club
I think
like? Was
Punch
it
Club
good?
is interesting. Yeah, I actually had fun with it. The fights are like automatic. You just build your setup beforehand. But it reminded me a lot of Stick RPG, if you'd ever played that back in the day.
I hadn't played
Um,
Stick RPG, but I remember like they did a different game. I know exactly what the game you're talking about it though, because people played that in web browsers and
yeah.
such.
um, it reminded me of it because there's the element of like work on your stamina, your agility and strength, manage time. You got to work a job so you can get money to feed yourself, to give yourself, because it has like a hunger bar, an energy bar, and a health bar, and you're trying to maintain all that while uh, getting stronger. It actually had an interesting story and like quest lines and skills to unlock. It felt more like a JRPG than some recent JRPGs I've actually played. Uh, there was a lot of humor too in the dialogue. The opening cutscene in general was
Oh,
hilarious. I was not expecting it. it. I mean, I don't want to spoil anything for people who want to go in blind, but it was not what I expected. I was laughing really hard.
well, that's good.
Yeah. There,
Uh,
I forget what the other one was called that was really good. It had a yellow cover with a guy with a gun. Began with either a V or an L. It reminded me of Out of This World, and it was actually really cool. I feel bad though. Some of these were so short that I blew through them. Like Dark Deception I had played, and from what I played, I don't know what the rest is like. It was just Pac-Man with scary monkeys that chase you. It wasn't bad, but I don't know what I was expecting. And I don't know if that's all like that or if that's just one level because each one's based on different nightmares.
interesting. Uh,
Yeah.
one of the ones that I had footage of, but it got garbled up when my computer had a catastrophic failure for some reason. Was um this boat? Oh my god, was it Boat Story or something weird? It's like a point and click game,
Hmm.
and it's very tongue in cheek. You play as an inspector, and you're basically a cat in a person suit. No, I'm not making this up. And you have to
A
figure out how to
reverse
get.
fury.
There's a there's a lot of social commentary in it though.
Hmm.
Um, so you have to get on this ship, the Andromeda space boat. It's called Space Boat. You have to get this on the ship called the Andromeda, and in true adventure game fashion, it's the click everything on everyone with anything, but it's not quite as bad. Like it's a full 3D. It ran pretty good, but it does gate you where you can go. At the start, you can like it's like, well, I gotta go get a boarding pass, so I'm gonna need to talk to go to the travel agency, and you go into the travel agency and you talk to the robot, and the robot's name is like K4R3N. It's Karen, and you're like, I'm an inspector, like I need to get a boarding pass because they make you wait in line, and it's like, oh, you're getting upset, so they give you there's a gotcha vending machine. I'm like, what is this? I'm like, this is true capitalism. So the boardwalk's like separated. There's like the regular free path, and there's the
Hmm.
whale path, and there's a whale on the whale path you have to talk to, who's a literal whale on a little like scooter thing, and he keeps calling you a pleb because you have no No money. It the influences are on its sleeve, but it like comes together to be a pretty fun sort of game. The race section at the end was a little weird, and I don't think it needed to happen, but it's not like it mattered. Trying no more.
Hmm.
Oh, you finally got No More Heroes 3 physical. Yeah, it's been here the whole time. It's the Moe plate's up here. I know you can't see it, it's not in frame, but it's here. It's always there. Moe.
And I was just looking through the games. I remember the names of a few now, and I think there's more demos than there were yesterday.
Oh, there are more?
Um,
I tried Dynacat. Dynacat is basically Sonic 3D Blast. If you like Sonic 3D Blast, go play Dynacat. Do yourself a favor. It's Sonic 3D
oh,
Blast. I was like, I'm not good at this still. Um,
oh, this is what it was called, Lunark. That's what it reminds
Lunar.
me of, Out of This World.
Yeah, I also tried Demon School.
How was that? I heard someone else talking about that. It said it was
Um,
cool.
I played like just the first little bit, and I'm like, this is a tactics game. This is not gonna work super well for like grabbing footage.
Mm-hmm.
Weird. Anyway, um, just gotta report someone quick. You had to, so instead of like Fire Emblem or other tactics
Mm-hmm.
games, you have to like you do everything and then you have like takebacks. In this one, you have your party and you do your turn and then you commit to your turn. So you can like go back and forth and decide what does what. You have so many action points and move through it to get to finish the combat.
Mm-hmm.
But you can just back up all the way to the beginning if you mess up or go back one step. So it like plays out in
Interesting.
real like you see what your move would do.
And nothing's finalized until you
Nothing's
hit end.
finalized until you end the turn.
Okay.
It
I've
also, it
played a
doesn't
few
tell
like
you
that.
what the enemy will do, but
Yeah.
it it was kind of cool. There was a bit of story going with it. Um, it's a competent enough tactics game. Tactics games tend to be something I'm not super into though, so I kind of just didn't play it too long before I went on to something else. I also tried
Yeah.
the Evil Wizard, which I think is the next one here on
Is
foot.
that the one with the cute little hoodie guy?
Yes, I switched to him. Uh, if lots of fourth wall breaking humor. The wizard literally talks to you.
Like you, the player?
Yes. He also makes
Hmm.
jokes about um like he tells you to do something and then it does something different because he's like press the X button. He's like, "Oh, I thought you were playing on PlayStation controller." And it's just like, "Oh, damn it." Um it's kind of self-aware. It's pretty quirky. It's also funny because there was a puzzle at one point. Yeah, this one. And you can like flip the levers to try and solve it, or you can just cheat. So I just cheated, and he's like, "Player." It's funny. It,
I can
it
appreciate that.
you pick up rubber duckies. I think there's some sort of
Like,
collectible, and
oh,
they're all
okay.
based on like famous characters. The first one I picked up was Darkwing Duck, so I was like, "Oh, okay." And then there was Duck of War.
What's it called? It reminds me of those ducks. Ah, I forget their name. You know the one with like the Kiryu duck?
Yeah, yeah. I was waiting for
I
a Kiryu,
yeah, I totally
but it
forget what
was
those are
like, but
called.
I saw I think it was Count Duckula, and I remembered this weird ass show they used to watch as a kid sometimes.
Mhm.
Come on. Yeah, see, I'm cheating. I respect it because he's the bad guy. Uh, it's decent. My biggest issue with it is there was no, like a good game will ease you into a boss fight.
Mhm.
I give you the, you know, the they'll they'll be like they'll give you an enemy with one of the mechanics or two of the mechanics, and you can learn them going in.
Mhm.
It didn't do that with this one. It's just like you're supposed. Oh, if you click if you scan the QR code, it's Rick Astley. It's a Rick roll.
That's funny. I was actually playing Arcade Paradise recently, and they did the same thing. Um, they give you Morse code for something or something like that. When you uh, break it down, it gives you a Bitly link, and then when you go to it, it's Rick Astley. You get Rick rolled, and there's an
Good.
achievement around it too. So luckily, people get drawn in, and then they get trolled. I played a different game, Sky something, Skybound. I don't remember, but it had a similar thing where one of the endings was based around trolling you like that if you so did it.
Yeah. See, Rubber Downey Jr.
Well,
It
their
was
names
like,
are also doofy.
yeah, they were doofy, but like, it was just funny to see. We both played the Stonks demo
Yes.
in the 800. Uh, I was no good at it and kind of just gave up.
I started with the idea of like, oh, it's cute, but I don't know if it's for me because I didn't see much appeal in it. But the more I played, the more it kind of opens up, and you get invited to play at the pachinko parlor with your friends, or go to the bar, or dating the cute girl that works for you. She's like your kohai, and yeah, just in general, the vibe kind of starts mellow and relaxed, and it amps up a little bit while also adding new elements to play with. I had a good time with it. I think it lasts 2 years in the demo, but I have no idea how long a quote unquote game would last. If it's a certain amount of time or until you go bankrupt and you're good for 20 or 30 years. I don't know. It was interesting though, because everything was based in Japan. So a lot of the companies were like Japanese company
Or
jokes.
fake
And
Japanese company jokes. And we noticed when we compared footage, I got different companies than you.
yeah, I knew a couple of the ones that you had that existed just because when you go to buy a house or a car, you could see like the brands. And some of them, like you said, the Mitsubishi one that you had, like I saw the name of it because they're one of the brands that you can buy from. But I had no idea you could uh, interact with them as if they were a stock. I'm sure you could just replay that a few times and get completely different ones. It also helped to know what the business was because if an event happened that was like, oh, it's harder to get materials for this, so this specific kind of company is struggling with the current economy. Stuff like that happened a few times, and that definitely affected things. The one universal one we both had was GameStop, and I don't know about your game,
Again,
but
still,
my GameStop was constantly right in line of the weakest company available. Its stock never went above like 1,500, and it was usually down in the single hundreds. It was rough for them. Of course, one of the CEO guys became friends with my guy, so they'd go out drinking and go to the racetrack together. So I had an in with that guy, and I'd find out how the company was doing and when to buy stock. Unfortunately, it was always really like valueless, so it almost didn't matter. Yeah, the
uh,
game's cool. You get to juggle a few different things too. Like if
yeah,
you
there was
get
a lot.
too stressed, you
There was a lot.
you get hospitalized.
Did you do it on purpose?
No, what happened was if you don't spend enough personal expenses, your guy's happiness goes down and he gets stressed. I never made enough money at the time to buy a better apartment. It turned out, and it even tells you when you're looking at houses, like these are what these mean in Japan. So I had a
Yeah, it
one
had
room.
the two. It's funny because they're written out in katakana too. I did look through that.
Yeah,
She's
and they're
explaining it, and I'm
definitely
like,
cute.
oh,
I had a one room, and it occurred to me after I'm like, oh wait, my dude doesn't even have a bathroom in his place. He has to leave to go to the bathroom. The accommodations for the place was like a 0 star, so he was miserable. I didn't have a car, so he just was miserable all the time, even if I was doing decent money wise. So every time he'd go out drinking, it would be like, is it time to go home? Yes or no. And if you hit yes, you go home and you don't pay as much. I'd always hit no. I'm like, no, he needs to keep drinking so his fun goes up and his stress goes down. He's going to go to an early grave. He needs to drink.
he needs to
Um,
stonking.
it
Uh,
got to the point where Amy, the little girl, not little girl, but
I just say little girl. She's pretty
no,
fully developed, and
yes, I meant because there's a little chibi of her,
yes,
and
she,
that's what I was thinking of, the cute chibi. She was like, "You don't look so good. Do you want to take a vacation?" And I was like, "Yes, my guy is literally going to die." And he takes he's like, "Oh, you went home to your family in the country where there's no hustle and bustle and you relax." I was like, "He needs this. He's working himself to the grave."
yeah.
I had fun with it though.
So this is Daymare 1994.
Well, the graphics are good compared to the other ones in the series.
Yeah, I've never played any of them, so uh, but you can. I'm sure you can instantly see what I'm talking about when I say that this game is clearly trying to handle like Resident Evil 2 or 3 remake. Although it doesn't have any of the like dodge mechanics of 3. And the monsters are kind of faster, so having this kind of slow speed be the base is a little bit it might be a balancing issue. Camera's also a tad close to the character, and the flashlight sucks. The flashlight's on right now. Can you see it?
Um, Yeah, but it's not like aimed straight. It looks like it's aimed more to the right when you're not aiming down sights.
It literally looks like the and then the puzzle was I'm looking at it, I'm like, oh okay, I see what I have to do. But it also looks like that like when you're doing a game because in real life when you're in somewhere dark your eyes will adjust to the dark and you'll be able to see somewhat if it's there's at least some light.
Mhm.
What that circle looks like is when you're playing a horror game and they have no flashlight, but they need to have some sort of mechanics so you can see something, otherwise the game would be unplayable. That's what it
It's
looks like to
funny
me.
though. Um, what was the year that this one was called?
94.
Nine, because the one that's already out, I think, was 98, and
Yeah,
I don't know.
that one's the looks like a PS1 game, right?
I believe so. I could be wrong because there's also a couple that are similar in the same vein that are like Outbreak. There's a bunch of Resident Evil similarity kind of games. And I remember looking at some of the reviews, and people weren't judging it based on the game. They were just like, wow, this game's totally trying to be Resident Evil. They're ripping it off. And it's like,
I
it,
don't have a problem with it trying to do something like Resident Evil,
yeah,
but
you can't copyright playing a game that has zombies. Like, it's definitely its own thing.
I
It's
mean,
reminiscent for
like
sure.
look at wait till you open the inventory. Like this one's kind of blatant in my opinion.
Yeah.
It's even got like the weird sound effects. Like it's not trying to hide it either. Like it's like I
Oh,
wanted to
no.
make this game and it's fine. I have no problem with that. That is not my issues with the game. It's just when it comes to shooting, fighting, ammo management, it seems very linear. Uh, Stuff's kind of confusing the way it's set up.
Mhm.
So like I have
And
to
how
go
was
back
the oh, go on.
like I have to go back up here and open this door here. This door, like, there's stuff that makes no sense. Like, the door has a keypad and all this other weird stuff on it, and you just use a key on it. Like, what's the point of there being all this electrical stuff on it, you know? And it's like, oh, this shouldn't
For a
exist. This
smarter
is
man with no key.
this isn't on the map. This shouldn't exist. And it's like, and then the flashlight sucking. I literally went to go check other horror games to see if I was just being nitpicky, and no, I am not. I was playing Dead Space, and Dead Space has the flashlight on the gun when you pick it up. So
Was there a game option for anything?
for this one, no. It's
Uh,
just it's just not good. Like I should be able to see farther than this than like a little bit in my. If you want to make it still spooky and have a flashlight, either have it have a long straight beam, so like your peripherals kind of
yeah,
not as not as defined because it's like a big cone, but it's like dull. But in a
yeah.
tactical situation, you would want like something really bright. I don't know anything that's going on plot wise in this game. It never made any sense to me. But if it's trying to
Do
be
you
Resident Evil, it
know?
doesn't have to make sense.
Yeah. Do you
The
know
load
if
times were on the
it's a
long side.
dream or? And I only say that because Daymare is supposed to be a nightmare in the day. Like, I have no idea if this is like just normal outbreak stuff or if it's psychological or supernatural.
I got the impression that she's part of a tactical squad. They were supposed to go get supposed to extract someone, and shit goes bad, and then the other team's
Hmm.
all dead.
Okay, so she's like the hunk of her team.
I don't know if she's the hunk of the team. She just got cut off. Like there was the door cut her off, and she just keeps talking to him, and they're tied back and forth. And then you lose communication at some point. And there's a scan mechanic, which seems completely superfluous. If this is
What
supposed
do
to
you
be
scan?
1994, we didn't have wrist-mounted scanners in 1994, or wrist-mounted communicators for that regard. I know she's got
They
like
had shoe
a
phones.
radio on her back, but you wouldn't have it on your back. You can't grab it there.
Yeah. I mean, I remember in the military that's something they used to do, but that doesn't mean it was good.
You'd have like a you'd put like a transponder on your back, but you
Yeah.
could have it on your back, but you would have like the police have a little like mic end, clicky
Yeah.
end, the end that you're talking to, right here. I just don't. I I don't know if it's a character design thing
Was that a
or
typewriter? I saw you save on something.
oh, it's a computer.
Computer, okay. Yeah, a lot of games try to do that, like whether it's the typewriter equivalent, the save disk. It seems like everyone's always like, we'll use old technology to represent saving. It's like,
Well,
okay, but
yeah, it's like a tactical computer. It's fine.
yeah. I'm always depressed when I hear someone like see a floppy disk in a game and go, oh, that's the save icon. And then they'll see a floppy disk in real life and they're like, yo, someone made a save icon. And it's like, uh, you're hurting me. Stop. Oh, he's sleeping. How nice.
Yeah. Uh, it was in all honesty, it's a decent game,
Hmm.
but I have no idea what was supposed to be going on. There was no preference. It's just like where it dropped me was where it started. So I'm assuming there's a opening cutscene or something that I'm missing that they're not
Hmm.
including on the demo.
That's true. It might just kind of like how you think you're at the beginning of the game when you play a demo, and it turns out there's like 2 hours of stuff beforehand that really sets everything up.
Yeah. I mean, the other thing that's kind of weird about this, and some of this is Unreal Engine stuff, is stuff's really reflective.
Like as if it was chromatic in the future, shiny.
Well, as someone who's like done service and worked in these kind of labby things, they're usually more grubby. Like like they're clean, but they're like worn down. Yeah, and the scanner thing, it's weird. And I'm like, I have no idea.
I was gonna say when you said you scan things, I was like Revelations 1 or like
No,
what
it's
are you
just like this thing on the
scanning?
wrist that I just don't like. You have to scan a specific thing here, and I'm like, what's the purpose of this? Why wouldn't you just like it's a computer you scan? I think ultimately, it's this thing.
Are they
It's
trying
like,
to
why don't
explain
you just
away
I don't know
how
interact with it? I don't get it.
yeah.
You
Well, that's
know,
what I mean. Are they trying to explain away like you don't know how to hack and stuff, so you just this thing does it for you?
other games have had it like that. Yet the floor's like too shiny. I
There's
don't
too
know.
many
I don't.
monsters
I don't
here for
want to.
this
I
to
don't
be
want to
this
nitpick
shiny.
it. It's clear this is a smaller team, but they're definitely trying to emulate the Resident Evil 2 lab look.
Yeah.
I always love. I actually absolutely love the computers and popular fiction. How it's always like type 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 type, and there's like nothing on the screen. Nothing's being interacted
Yeah.
with. It's just like, yes, I have hacked it. I made it work. What did you do?
Meanwhile, it's like, all right, you've hit 15 different keys at once and you've broken the computer.
Yeah, like it looks so much like Resident Evil 2. The influence is on the sleeve. It might be a little too close in my opinion,
Mhm.
and I think that kind of hurts it.
Oh, seeing that ammo real quick reminded me of Alyssa, where it's like, you picked up
Yeah,
Bob ammo. And I was like, what? You got
the thing with
Maverick
Alyssa,
ammo.
the thing with Alyssa though was it's kind of endearing because it's something like they don't make games like that anymore. Where this is like
Yeah.
this looks just like Resident Evil 2. Like
Yeah.
if we replace this character with Leon or Claire, you'd be like, "Oh, it's Resident Evil 2."
Yeah, I'd be like, oh, this setting might make sense. Like, granted, I've played the game, so I know you aren't ever in a spot like this, but like, if I saw a
Yeah,
Leon
but
model
Miss
over
Feed,
this,
if we just replaced this character model with one of the other ones, it would told you'd
yeah.
totally believe it was the game.
Well, that's what I
Which
mean. Like, if you replaced her with Leon, I might have been like, oh, is this somewhere in the hive that I just don't remember? Like,
is this
at
like
the
a
end of two,
DLC or something? Is this
yeah,
like a new game? Is this cut content? Like, yeah,
exactly.
Mir, you would think that, but it's I understand that like having a picture of the text document and having the text in front of the document isn't something that's specifically Resident Evil.
Mhm.
But if you keep adding them up together, this game really looks like
Yeah,
Resident Evil 2.
and that's the thing. You don't lose points for copying something here and there because you can't trademark everything, and there's good elements to use in any game. But if you don't have any original things, and you suddenly have a lot of similarities in other ways, like they start to stack up against you. It just
I didn't notice any self defense or way to get them, like no knife or grenade mechanic.
Mhm.
Like two. Oh, excuse me. Sorry. I'm not,
No, no problem.
that's what I mean. I'm not exactly I didn't play through the whole thing. I got to a certain point. I
Mhm.
was low on health. I died, and I'm like, eh.
Yeah. Well, that's the other problem with this game that if it's trying really hard to look and feel like another game, it shouldn't pick one that is the top of its class because then when you're comparing them, no offense to this game, you're probably going to go with the one that's more optimized, that's better controls, that
It
if
performed
you're
well enough. Like it looks the part. It looks pretty good. The weird lightning zombies are cool. I mean,
yeah, I like that design.
if this is on a decent enough discount, I might try it.
Oh, definitely. I just mean like it's kind of like when a game tries really hard to be Final Fantasy 1 through 4, but it doesn't play as well. It's like this just makes me want to play Final Fantasy 1 through 4 and not this. Uh, that's what these games tend to do sometimes. They're trying so hard to be these really cool games, and they have a lot of the elements, but then if they don't hit that right mark, it just kind of makes you want to play the game that they're trying to be like.
Yeah,
I
it
think,
was like because I ended up going to play. I'm like, I should finish my Dead Space. When I play a
yeah,
game and I'm like, oh, I should finish that hard mode Dead Space plasma cutter only run I was doing.
yeah,
That's not a
yeah.
good sign. So
And that's what I mean. Not that it's bad or anything, but if it reminds you of like another game enough that you're kind of wishing you were just playing the game it reminds you of, then it's like I don't know if you hit the mark.
no, not at all. We can move on from this one.
Wait,
It's
I got one more.
no,
I
no, no.
played
I meant like
Raging.
I meant move on from Daymare. Uh,
Oh, my bad.
I should remember if I played any other. No, I didn't play any other ones besides the Jedi Survivor that I picked up.
Hmm. I played
It was
Raging
on
Bites demo.
early sale, so I picked it up. It was like 30% off. I
Nice.
got, which made it cheaper than the physical, the digital. And I'm like, all right,
Remind me of the guy that was arguing recently about why we don't need physicals.
ugh, miss me with that.
Crazy,
Okay,
crazy people.
because I recently picked up I slight tangent, but still on topic. I recently picked up
Hmm.
a expansion card for my Xbox, so I'm like, I'm gonna download
Yes.
some games that I've been meaning to finish. I installed entirely off the disc. It was a 1.32 gig patch. That was it. There was nothing else. Most of the game was on the disc. There's a playable version on this disc. It's still on the Xbox. Wanted Dead was I did not install. Uh, where was the Scarlet Nexus? On the other hand, I love you, Scarlet Nexus, but it had so many patches after launch that I think the download's actually bigger than the game file on the disc. But then that was like a year worth of updates and upgrades and stuff.
Yeah, and they kept adding
And
content
I
both
also
with
have the I
updates
think I
and
also have the DLC, the seasons pass for this one. So that might
yeah,
have also
same.
included that, which I haven't played any of the content for, but I bought it because it was Bandai give you enough money. No complaining, more games. I'm just gonna
That's right.
keep
That was one of the companies I had in stonks
Donks
banned by.
Bandai. Well, it would have been yeah, it would have been Bandai then, but there also would have
Yeah.
been Namco. What else?
So one of the other ones I had played was Raging Bites, the new Kemco
Oh, the Kemco
JRPG zombie
one.
game. Yeah, that was actually really fun. Um, to the point where I almost was like, I just want to buy this now. But I was like, I don't have a lot of money right now. I shouldn't. But I immediately put it on my wish list because it came out like I want to say 2 or 3 days before the demo launched.
I was having fun with RPG Golf Legends, but I have this problem with digital games that I kind of ignore them unless I spend the time to just just beat them.
Hmm. Yeah, I remember you were saying something like that where you're like, if it's not a physical, I might tend to buy it and then forget to play it. And I've definitely done that with games, whether it's physical or digital, because it's like you want to play it, but then you put it aside to play something else, or you tell yourself you do it after you finish something, and then it just, it's out of sight, out of mind. So then you start working on other things, and you're like, I just paid for it. I need to play this. It can be almost overwhelming sometimes, just how much, backlog there is.
Yep, very much so. Don't forget all the Game Pass games. Yeah, Game Pass games is like the worst. If it's a multiplayer game that I can play with other people, it's like yeah, it's great. But when I,
Yeah.
when you're sitting there and you're like, oh, it's way easier to be like, oh yeah, I got to beat Crisis 3 when the Crisis trilogy is sitting here on the desk.
Mhm. Yeah,
Crisis 3 is actually really dope, by the way. I
yeah,
feel
the
like it
third
was
one's
actually
really good.
I think it was two decisions away from being like game of the year contender that year. It came out.
Hmm.
Not running on the 360 and PS3 definitely hurt it though. Not great. I recommend the trilogy just for 2 and 3. This definitely isn't. It's Phil. He's not here.
I
He's
mean,
come here
I
to.
recognized it was him because the name is similar to his BattleNet. So I was like, okay, I
You
think I know
guys
who
playing
this is.
Diablo together? Hmm.
I mean, I don't think I've played it yet with him, but I have half of the group in the clan.
Yeah, well, it might
Everyone's
get
been
bigger
playing
with.
weird times.
It sounds like it's coming to Game Pass.
Yeah, I
Was there any other
like.
crazy demos we want to talk about before we move on, or
Uh, I feel like there was one more that I played. Let me double check.
thinking about it?
Oh, there's two actually. One I didn't play, but I was interested in. Marble It Up Ultra looks really cool. Um, that one's even multiplayer, and it looks like Marble Madness, but you can play with friends, both co-op and
Yeah, maybe talk about that, but I didn't see it in the December Game
yeah,
Fest
I
whatever
think it's
list.
just a standard game demo, but it was put alongside all of them.
So I think the games to watch for me out of the demos that I played, Spaceboat. Spaceboat was really fun for one.
Mhm.
Uh, Evil Wizard was okay, but Alyssa's the other one that was like, John Muncher was talking about it on Twitter, and I was like, yeah, if John Muncher's talking about it, it must be good.
They
John Muncher knows a good survival horror game when they say
do you remember Slave Zero X?
vaguely. I remember
That's
looking
also
at it.
one I'd keep an eye on. I think they showed that at one of the things. I mean, obviously at the ID Xbox thing, but something else earlier this year, and it looked awesome. And I was so surprised to see it in the demo section. I still have to play it. Um, they even give a shout out. They're like, if you're fans of Devil May Cry, Strider, and Guilty Gear, like this is gonna make sense. It's gonna hit with you.
Okay.
Graphics were really good too. It reminded me of Darkstalkers in terms of the pixel art too.
Darkstalker pixel art is dope. Okay, let's. So, do you want to talk about how did I have this set up? I'd set up a schedule, and then I don't want to deviate too much from it. We can be a little more.
Mhm.
So the biz topic of the day. Ugh. As you can see, I did some craziness here and switched up the slot. So we have our port beggars most wanted in the corner there. They'll just go through any box art that I have in the folder randomly. There's a bunch in there. Stop, Alyssa. Don't need photos right now. But yes, the FTC got denied its permanent injunction against Activision Blizzard.
Yes.
Um, I also found it very interesting that the Bank of America got hit with fines at the same time. Result about this.
Hmm.
I don't know much about it. I looked into it briefly, but it went way over my head with technical things. So I'm just going to. Was there anything you wanted to add to this besides we could see this deal closing by the 18th? I believe is the hard date,
Yeah, I'm
which is
not
next Tuesday.
100% sure what else they could do. Um, in terms of like, because people were wondering if they'll try to appeal and stuff. I don't think they have a case. I mean, I know they didn't have a case originally, but after everything that went through, I don't think there's any new or relevant information that they've said that would even make sense to waste more taxpayer money
Well, I
to
mean, they can
try and do this.
they can try and appeal. They said they want to try and appeal, but the last standing against it is the CMA in the UK.
Yes.
But that's not that hard to just dodge them and like just close over.
Well, that's the thing. I don't think people realize how likely that is. They already said before this that they would close over them if they couldn't find uh, a
Yeah,
solution that made everyone happy.
a close
So,
over for people that don't understand the concept is if they're in legal, they can close the deal without the CMA's approval. Uh, if they do that though, they'll draw ire, and the CMA can try and go backtrack and tell them that they can't do what they do. Option one
yeah.
is just pull entirely out of the UK, which is which would be all of Microsoft, not just Xbox. And that would probably be disastrous for the UK since a lot of systems work on Windows. And I don't see Apple or Linux taking over that quickly. The other option is that they spin up a subsidiary of Activision in the UK that will run business as usual. Sorry, mom's watching something and it started howling, and I thought it was a fire alarm or something. And
Did you see? Oh, go on.
sorry, and they'll just run the Activision UK as business as usual, no changes whatsoever. So no Game Pass deals, no cloud games. You'd still be piecemeal buy until they sorted out whatever they were doing.
Mm.
Uh,
So, interestingly, um, you know the Charlie Intel uh, Twitter, among other things? They've been saying that it looks like all of the older Call of Duty games that are on the Xbox 360, the matchmaking got fixed.
yeah, I saw that.
And they're saying Activision hasn't commented on it. They don't know what's up because technically Microsoft doesn't own them yet. But for most of the games that are going through, it looks like they've fixed up the servers, which is super great because if anything, one of the things people want most from this is more backwards compatibility, more games just being, I don't want to say saved, but uh, not just tossed away and killed or inaccessible due to time passing. So
Well,
that's
a
a
lot
good
of the
look.
older Call of Duty games used peer to peer anyway. Like there was always a
Some of them,
host of the
yeah.
mat. A lot of them did in the 360 era. I think there's only a couple that didn't, and they
I
were
think it
early
ended
on.
with MW2, which was
Modern
2009.
Warfare 2 was the one, yes, that was the first one to be hosted,
Yeah,
have
because
hosted,
I remember in the older
player
days,
hosted,
if the host left, like he rage quit, the match would end. So you'd have
or it
like
would
the
or it
match.
would pause and it would migrate to a new host.
Yeah, it would do that on some of the more like MW2 did that, which is how you knew if someone rage quit. It was like, oh, hold on, it's finding a new host, guys. We pissed them off. But on the older games like COD 4 and World at War for 5, I remember the match would just end and it would show the scores, and everyone in the chat would be like, "Oh, dude, he got fucking pissed. What a little bitch, baby!" Like everyone would go off on the one guy that was obvious was the host. Um, which as a quick aside segue, I think those kind of lobbies are going to be much less likely now that Microsoft is passing this new thing that they're doing.
I want to point out that that's nothing new. It's a technology that's
Mm,
existed. So the
well, the tech
story
is interesting
here
for sure.
is okay. I want to do this without showing all of my Twitter, but um, it was the the thing is that it exists, like it already existed. I'm just gonna turn this off so I can find the article.
But it was more like they didn't want people to be able to record other people and say,
Um, my understanding is that the way the system works is that if me and you are in a game and someone starts flaming us, one of us can hit the report and it will send a whole clip to them with the game and what happened
Mhm.
and the voice samples. So it's
Yeah, I
it's
think it
basically
covers the last 60 seconds or so.
yeah, it's just a this is not a new concept. Like uh Overwatch does this too. If you use the
Oh yeah,
in-game
I just
chat,
mean in terms of Xbox, I think the voice part's new. I know with messages, obviously, if you reported a message, they could look at the
yeah, they look at the
recent
message and
stuff.
see all the messages that were
Yeah,
attached to it. And
but the
that's the
voice
thing.
thing's huge because that's unfortunately one of the huge ways of bullying. Like, and I'm
But it's
not trying to say no one can have fun in chat, but there's definitely a time and a place with like, this is
I know
joking or
people were acting like it was going to get abused. The thing is that the report system on any platform will always be abused.
yeah,
It's how you on the back end handle the people sending in the abuse. Like they send in, we'll send in this, we'll send in that. Well, this person said this, blah 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 blah, and it ultimately just comes down to a thing where you go, does it really matter? Because the thing is, if you're acting like a usual, like a decent human being, you don't have to worry about this at all. It's never going to be a
yeah.
problem for you.
And there's a difference between trash talking and being a huge asshole. Like, people can get mad in a game and, you know, not get in trouble. But when you start yelling racial slurs or threatening someone, that's not trash talking anymore. That's obviously when you need to stop. And if people do want to say some of those things still, you got a switch on your mic. You can just flick that for a second and cuss out when no one can hear you and flick it back on. Like, it, it, it's just the same as like when you get pissed on the PC game, you usually, if you're a normal person and not playing League, are not toxic enough to cuss them out. You'll just say it to yourself. You're not going to send them a private message and tell them their shit or say it in the game if you're a normal person. Some people definitely do that and then wonder why they get banned. But it it shouldn't be a problem for anyone if they're decent people.
That's if they have any common sense. I think that's the big deal here is if you're gonna act like it's your own personal, like you can just be mad, you be whatever at this. Okay, here's the Wario 64 tweet. This will be fine. Gone now. Whoop. I know it's a little framed a little weird. I can move it up a bit actually. If we open this up, there we go. So yeah, if you're playing with someone now, the thing is that what would stop them from doing this before?
Well, didn't they get yelled at by a lot of the community for a bit when they were like, "We're gonna try to crack down on some of this"? Like, I don't know. I feel like people were like, "They're taking away our freedoms. They're looking at our info. Blah blah blah." And
This is opt in.
yeah, I think they're worried about people realizing that their voice is being watched now. Before it was like, I can say
You
whatever I
should
want
always
as
act
long as I don't
when
message
you're
it.
in a public game, a public
Oh, I
anything,
agree.
you should always act like someone's watching or listening that you don't want.
I mean, it's like that even if you walk outside in public, you could be recorded by anyone doing anything now. Like, you should always be a decent human being in general. But yes, in this, you could always be recorded by someone. You should just try to be a normal human being and not someone who is terminally online and toxic 24/7.
Just I didn't read how this actually worked here, but I want to check it.
Oh, so yeah, it's not just a report, but you get to have the clip for a day.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to look at it a little more before. I'm not gonna flip out about this because the when you're trying to run a platform and you have people in a this way, this is also great. The 24-hour thing probably is also so parents can review it and see if it actually was something. Because the thing is that we're old guys. We've been here since the beginning. We know what it was like when people said stupid stuff,
Yeah,
and we're just jackasses all the time. We get it, like we know how this works. But that doesn't mean a kid should have to put up with it in the
definitely.
Minecraft
And
server or whatever. And this will give
yeah,
you the flexibility for you know, for someone to set it. The thing is that it depends on what you consider to be good, bad.
well, that's what I think the 60 seconds of recording is. It's to give it more context. Because, yeah, someone might not need all 60 seconds to, you know, say this person said this, but it also shows what led up to that. It's not
It
like you
could.
can.
It depends on how the 60 seconds are, if it's how many seconds before it there are. Because the thing is, like,
Yeah,
people get mad and they lose their temper all the time. People do it in public and in private. And to be honest with you, the people that will get mad in public tend to be older dudes who think that they're no better than everyone else.
yeah.
And
But
that's the
having
thing.
uh, these kind of situations exist is a good way to crack down on that. Like, the people who are the meanest online are the ones that think they're untouchable, and they use that anonymity against everyone else. And I'm not saying you shouldn't be able to have some private things. I'm not looking for utopia ruled by the government. But this is a very small thing. If you're a super asshole, you're probably deserving of this, and you've just been getting away with it for years because you can exploit, not texting or messaging people and just saying stuff out loud and going, "What are you gonna do? No one will believe you." I mean, this shouldn't affect most players because most people should be normal enough that when they're in this kind of situation, they don't lose their shit on someone. Like, they're just gonna walk away and go, "Whatever, I'm not gonna engage with this." And
That's
that's
the
what we
thing.
should be
There's
doing.
there's sometimes when I'll if you get mad enough that you want to throw something or break something, it's time to turn off the game and go do something else.
100%. Yeah.
Like honestly, we've all been there. We're human beings. It happens. You get so upset that you just want to break something, throw a controller, cuss someone out. Literally, turn off the game, get up, go
Yeah.
for a walk, go take a shower. You know,
I thought you were going to say shit.
go
I was like,
watch. I mean, you could do that too. You might need to do that too.
taking
Like
angry shit. No, I totally
go
agree.
go read a book, play something more relaxing. Play some. That's why when people act like these other games never need to exist because we have all these great action games. No,
yeah.
man. Sometimes you just want to chill out, sit down, and play something crazy.
And it's good to cultivate a different kind of headspace because sometimes you really need to get out of the one you're in and just cool your head off. And that's totally valid. Just because someone doesn't like a genre because it doesn't apply to them doesn't mean it doesn't apply to literally everyone else.
It doesn't mean that you shouldn't just enjoy it to have fun or just go watch a show. Like
Fun's illegal. We're
do
cracking down on it.
that's just the thing. It's you gotta do something else. Um,
Yeah.
I have here for audience questions, but we don't have any at the moment. I didn't get any this week, so I know this is a new
Uh,
segment we're thinking about, but if people want to send them in via Twitter or whatever, we should put a hashtag. Ask the council sounds good. Hashtag ask the council.
yeah.
That'll be
I
it.
think that's a good. It's easy enough to remember.
Yeah.
Plus, we can
So
make Star Wars memes with that.
Star Wars movie.
The Council recognizes you. However, we do not grant you the rank of Jedi.
No, no, not at all. Um, do you have any other small topics I wanted to talk about this week?
Uh,
Trying to think of anything newsworthy that happened that was small, and I was like, yeah, it'd be interesting. We kind of spent a lot of time on what we were playing, but that's kind of its own topic because that was a event that happened. Did you watch the IGN ID at
I
Xbox showcase?
it's funny, I didn't. I set a reminder for it, but I I just totally forgot. And then when I remembered, it was almost over, so I just caught up with the Wario tweets. I uh
It
I
was
didn't
just
like sit for
I
and
was
watch
just
it.
moving to grab the Xbox Wire post, and so it was already here.
Oh, no problem.
Axiom Verge 2, was that already out? I didn't.
Yes, on other
Okay,
platforms.
all right. I just wanted to. I couldn't remember if it came out or not. Birth.
Birth?
That's nice. Okay, interesting. Dreamers. This is interesting. It's a puzzle platformer. Everspace 2. I don't know anything about Everspace. Oh, did this get a demo? Because we have
Which
not
one?
seen the Hellboy, the Web of Weird.
No, that one got announced there, but I haven't seen a demo floating around yet.
I saw a thing of it, and people were like, didn't like it for because it looked weird.
Huh.
Uh, and I was like, uh huh.
Did they
It's
just
not on the
not
store
like the
yet.
art
I just wanted to
style
check if it
or
was on the store, but it's not. Yeah, it was pretty cool looking. It looks like the comic books, so it has this
yeah.
kind of this style. I really like it. It looked pretty cool. It was like it was 3D. Jackpack, a new Jackpack. Time Jinx. Hypno Twist. Okay, no thanks.
A quick question that Draco said. I do, but not 100% because of the ABK, just because as market value goes up for Xbox, uh, more games have less reason to skip. The
I
bigger the player base is, the more that helps.
I have a slightly different take on that.
Go on.
Uh, I think yes, because Activision has a fantastic Japanese localizer. Every Call of Duty game ever released and every Activision game ever released has had a Japanese sub and or dub. Like there's dubs for every Call of Duty game. Overwatch
Ooh.
has, Diablo 4 has, like every Diablo does. So I think yes, it will help as long as they go back and they use these resources to make games that like Psychonauts that don't have localization to be localized correctly into Japan. This is like going to be a big deal, I think, and this is going to be something that's overlooked by a lot of people. As I think people
I'm
just
100%
forget.
for that.
Well, I don't think a lot of people know what kind of games get sold in Japan, especially Western ones. Like, you see the sales
They
charts, you
they
see
like to think
whatever.
they do, at
They
least
like to
on
think they
Twitter.
do, but I'm a little more plugged in on that side, so I do
Yeah.
see that. You could look at Karen's thread of all the Japanese copies of COD. I think they said someone said something about COD being gross, and Karen was just like, "Oh, we're talking about COD." It's like, here's all the games. I love Karen. They're great. They might not understand what you're talking about, but my God, did they have the collection to back it up to put people in their place? Uh, okay. This is still in Jackbox, huh?
Karateka isn't.
No, it's not. Okay, I wasn't sure because they were treating these like they were Jackbox Karateka. This reminds me of I think it's called Kung Fu Master.
Yeah, wasn't there a game way back on
It was like an arcade game. I think it's Kung Fu Masters or something. It was wild. It,
The
it
one I'm thinking of might have been like close to Atari level, but I think it was on the PC. I don't remember what it was called. Let me double check.
what is going? Excuse me. Hey, throat was all dry there.
No problem. I'm
I'm
just looking for this game real quick.
not gonna find it. A monolith. I didn't see these metro weights.
Oh, this is what it was. Karateka. Yeah.
We've
This
seen
is it
monolith
was a
before.
Commodore 64 game.
Yeah, okay. It was a Commodore 64 game. Okay. It just
That's
reminded
why
me
it was
of.
so familiar.
Yeah, I never had a Commodore 64. They weren't very popular here.
Yeah, it was the kind of game that like it ran at like 3 frames per second and it was rough, but it was a really cool idea.
It was
I
super
believe
cool,
it's
so we
like
played it anyway.
I think it was like your girlfriend gets kidnapped or something and taken to this island and you come on a little boat and right when you get to the island it's like one dude comes at you and you have to fight him and then you walk off screen and fight the next dude and I believe you're trying to get to the girl. I've obviously never seen that close. I think I've seen maybe the first 4 or 5 dudes fall and then you get destroyed.
I think we've seen monolith before.
It sounds familiar.
It looks familiar. Myth Force, I've definitely seen. I don't know if you've seen Myth Force. It's going for this 1980s like Saturday morning cartoon look, and it
Yeah, I saw someone
nails
post
it.
about that where they were like, I have
Nails
to get
it.
cereal.
Yeah. And it's is it Game Pass game? But it's coming on the 12th. I don't think it's Game Pass. But it's a co-op game, so it is interesting. I don't know. Hopefully it does well. It looks cool.
Yeah. I think Rain World was going to be Game Pass though, right?
Doesn't say here. I'm assuming it would say.
'Cause I know they talked about that recently and it had a demo also with ID.
I didn't see this one here. Unless they added it afterwards. Let me look
I
quick.
I remember downloading it. I think it came out because it came out on the 10th. The cover looked different though. Uh
It has. Okay, there's a Rain World, and Downpour seems to be a sequel.
oh,
Yeah, it is a sequel. It seems.
I
Okay,
didn't realize because this one hasn't come out yet either. The Rain World original.
has it? It's for sale here. You can just buy it.
Oh
Yeah.
wait, no, it came out on like the 10th, right?
Wait. It
Or
says yeah, the 7th, 11th. It's out. What's Downpour then? What is this?
that's my
What is
confusion.
this? I'm
That's my
confused.
confusion.
Oh, it's DLC. It's DLC expansion.
Oh, okay.
Okay, we got it. We're here. So Rain World and the DLC. The DLC costs almost as much as the entire game. That's fine. Roman Sands. Interesting. Uh,
Sorry about that.
No, I had to type something quick. Something important came in.
I had to
Uh,
block something because some random person started blowing up in notifications and spamming, and it was a bot, and I
Not
was just trying to
cool.
nip that in the bud.
Yeah, lots of bots.
My phone's just freaking out. It was like, oh, look at all those notifications, blah, blah, blah. Too dumb.
Okay.
Alright.
Puzzle solving horror simulation. Roman sand rebuilt. Interesting.
I like the dudes in the back, they're just in monkey poses.
Yeah, basically. Scarlet Deer Inn. Narrative platformer. Inspired by Studio Ghibli movies, Slavic folklore, and medieval Europe.
It's
Okay.
definitely a combo I wasn't expecting, but I am not against.
Sea of Stars. I don't know if I'm ever gonna forgive them for being the dicks the way they were, but I will let I will let I'll let someone else say it. But I probably will try it when it comes because it's coming to Game Pass, right?
Yep.
I
Yeah,
don't
it
know.
went from they refused to tell us if it was ever coming to Xbox to announcing
I
it
don't
day and date on Game Pass
I don't
after the Xbox
understand
announcement.
why it why they couldn't tell us that it was coming to Xbox before.
Yeah, or the fact that
The thing is, they took Kickstarter money for it, right?
exactly, and that's what pissed me and of course a lot of people off.
A lot of people
The
off,
fact
and
that they weren't being transparent at all, but were totally fine with taking the money and saying nothing for months.
yeah, it's and
And
that's
I
the
get it,
thing.
it
The way
like
they acted takes away from the actual game. And I've heard very good
exactly.
things about the game, and I'm just like, it just leaves a sour taste in my mouth because of the way this guy treated us.
Yeah, even if it was an NDA from Microsoft or something, they could have easily said, "Well, we've taken money and we need to be upfront with that, or
Yeah,
else it's going
you
to look
should
bad
have.
on us." Yeah, you can't take someone's money and then when they ask about if they're going to get the product for that money, you just gaslight them for 4 months.
Yeah, you can't do that. Yeah, I don't. That's the thing. Even if there was an NDA in place, I don't understand why they couldn't have said it. It's all things. That's the plan. Leave
Yeah,
it at
or at
that.
least say something to
So it'd be like,
alleviate the stress for the people who
I
paid
definitely
you.
feel like saying we plan to do it, barring any problems.
Yeah. And there's ways to alleviate the problem without just saying nothing, too. You could be like, we're planning to, if something happens or it doesn't go through, you'll definitely get your money back. Like,
That's the
even
way
just
you
saying,
should do it.
yeah, just
But the way
saying
some of these
you
guys
either will
act,
get this game
yeah.
or the money back.
Second wave. Oh, it's a MOBA shooter with
It's a what?
waifus. It's a
A
MOBA
MOBA
shooter with
hero
waifus.
based? Interesting.
I actually like MOBA games, but I hate MOBA games
I was
because
expecting slightly a different response instead of, I like this, but also I hate this
well, my
more than
favorite
weapons.
one to play was Heroes of the Storm because I like the
Yeah,
characters. It was pretty fair free to play. I just get worried when we have, you know, a free to play game like this with waifu characters because
yeah.
we've all
Anything you
seen.
can invest money into
Well, I mean, the
can
other
be
game
scary.
that's Pokemon. It was Pokemon Unite was the mobile one, right?
Uh, was it? Oh my God, there's so many of them. I
I
don't
think it
remember.
was Unite. Yeah, there's so many. Like Sleep just came out.
Yes. That's what it was. Pokemon Unite was
Yeah,
the tiny,
it's
almost league,
scummy. The business practices are scummy, but the game's actually fun.
which is
And
why for the first few months I was loving it, and then I kind of fell off, and I'm
well,
in
that
between
became pay to
actually going
win
back.
because you had to upgrade your equipment and stuff.
Yeah,
It's not good. Not good.
the battle pass was also rough, and I love that
I
every game
hate
needs a
battle
battle
passes
pass
so
now.
much.
It's I I was always gonna be this person because I was the person that hated microtransactions since they started, DLC in general, because it was just so overpriced, and I noticed you kept getting less and less for your value. Uh, Same with pre-orders. But as soon as battle passes happened, I was like, I already missed loot boxes, and people were like, "Are you insane? Loot boxes suck." I was like, yeah, but at first people liked them and then they sucked. Just like battle passes, some people like it. I guarantee it's going to get worse. And it did.
You know what I
Everything
don't
has one.
what I don't understand about battle passes in particular is you literally pay for content and then you have to earn said content that you've already paid
Yeah,
for.
not just you have to earn it, you also have to do it in a limited amount of time or you miss out on the content you paid for. You're basically buying limited time content that you have to now grind for. And if you don't grind enough, you miss out on the content you paid for.
It's it's done that way so you'll want to keep logging in. It's the sunk
Yep.
cost fallacy bullshit.
And that's why they do
So
it. Not
the
just because,
I think it's
go on.
in a lot of ways worse than the thing is when you have like a free battle pass, I I don't often say nice things about Fortnite, but I'm
Mhm.
gonna say something nice about Fortnite. Fortnite's battle pass, even on the free tier, is at least reasonable because you can earn enough credits in it that in like 2, 3 seasons you could get your next battle pass and get enough currency to basically keep up with the battle passes just by playing the game.
I actually did that with COD. Every time you did a battle pass, you got enough for the bare minimum of the next one if you played through it. So I had used one of the day one pre-orders or whatever, gave you a bunch of COD points. For that entire year of COD, I just would use one battle pass to get the next one. And I appreciated that. To take a point away from Fortnite, not only do they have the battle pass, but they have a membership program you can buy into now,
Which is
where you get
scummy
like,
as fuck.
yeah,
That's what I
because
mean.
not
I
only
that's
is
why
it
I
like
said
a battle pass,
there's a lot of things I don't like about
uh,
Fortnite. But yeah, it's like here, want these skins? We'll give you a skin every month for your money. It's like why?
exactly. And it's like, oh, well, we'll give you a cheaper battle pass if you also have the membership. If for just 14.99 a month, you can also. It's like this is a fucking video game. I already pay for the internet monthly to play this video game. I paid for the platform already. I pay the electricity for this and the television. I just want to play the game. I don't want to keep paying for the
That's the
game and the
yeah. That's the
service it's on.
I don't yeah. I don't buy a lot of single player games. Multiplayer games, I should say anymore. I buy them mostly for
Yeah.
the single player, and I'll play multiplayer games with people, and that's why it's like if it's a multiplayer game and ends up on Game Pass, I'll be more willing to try it. If we're talking about a free to play game like Second Wave here, I might try it. It's not on the store yet. I don't know when it's launching. I'm not against MOBAs. Like I like the concept of MOBAs,
The
but
game or
the
like
game type it's fine. But the thing is that all of them are scummy as fuck. But the business
exactly,
model,
especially if High Rise owns it or High Res.
high res
That's not.
or Riot League is a
Yeah,
mess.
they're both like the kings of scum.
That's what I mean. Like if you like League, I don't blame you. But everyone's just so. I really liked Heroes
Jesus.
of the Storm, and I hope Heroes of the Storm comes to console soon. Although I bet you they killed that
I was
team.
let me look up Second Wave and see what the store has. And we have two TV
Coronavirus
shows called
second wave.
Second Wave. Yes, and then Coronavirus Second Wave. And I was like, oh, I don't like this.
Uh, huh. Interesting.
That is an obnoxious
Solus.
way to write that game title.
Solus? State?
The state beneath it.
Yeah, I didn't actually see it
Solus.
at first, and I'm like, oh, the A is actually messing with me.
Yeah,
It's almost
it's
like
like an
someone
optical
put up this
illusion.
in one of my discords the other day. Someone put up this Iron Maiden cover, and it had this font that was supposed to look like kanji but still be English writing, and I couldn't read it. I literally couldn't read it because I'm like, this doesn't make any sense. My brain's like, this doesn't make any sense. That's not a kanji. And I'm like trying to look at it like English words, and I'm like, I think that's supposed to be an E. No, it's king. And I'm like, but the king's in the. Don't
That's
learn another
great.
language. Don't do stupid shit with signs, everybody. That's the moral of the story today. Stray Souls. This looks like something for us.
Yes, this I believe they talked about. Was this the one
Oh,
that
this
Akira
team's a huge
Toriyama?
fan. Zukai
I mean, not Akira
Studios are huge
Toriyama.
fans of Silent Hill.
Akira Yamaoka. I believe he's the one that was making a track on this game.
Oh yeah, yeah. He's the composer for Silent Hill. If you didn't know.
Yes, he's
Uh,
uh
looks
he's
sick.
the one who does the
Yeah,
which
it's a
is
mandolin. I
much
have a
better when it's on the
mandolin.
tongue. Well, yeah, but you can't just say that. Everyone knows you have to try to sing it, and then it sounds awful, and then people go, "Oh wait, I know exactly what you're talking about."
Don't make me go grab the 12-string guitar that's over there. Hey, stop it. Stop it. This is not a music stream. Yeah, Stray Souls looks really cool. Even
When you
just
get us
doing this.
copyright striked because I'm too good.
Stumble Guys! It's a Fall Guy clone. Moving on.
Yeah, I've seen
Texas
people
Chainsaw
play this one.
Massacre. Is this the... Yeah, this is the 3v4 multiplayer. Yeah, oh thanks.
Yeah, it's coming to
Yeah,
Game Pass
Couch Co-op
soon.
Vampire Survivors, kids. It's happening.
See, well, that's great.
Hell
I'm
yeah.
like, man, I'd like to play it online, but the co-op with couching is very good too.
I don't know how well that would work. Do you get less items? Because I always have the craziest stupid builds where I like stop time at shit.
Oh yeah, I've broken the game many times. Every time they update it and add more achievements, I have to go back and 100% it again. I've
Yeah,
done
now
it
you're
every
gonna have to
time
get
so
all the
far.
couch co-op achievements.
Yeah,
Now you
exactly. I'm
have
gonna
to
have
make
to
real
plug
world
every controller in.
friends.
No.
Worldless?
Must be a very small game with no in-game world. The
Okay.
challenges are immense.
Yes. You won't have any audio, but
This is also the huge announcement for them. Like I've seen this more than I've seen gameplay. Spooky.
hmm.
That was a cool effect, but it just comes off as hilarious. Just trash flying
Yeah, he
very
also did the
fast.
medium. The medium has great music. Even though the ending
Yeah.
is like awful.
He did Shadows of the Dam too. He does all the great horror stuff.
Why is there a dude in his underwear with a gun? Covered in blood.
Why not? I'm a fan of the man.
Is that a combat roll? That's a combat roll. He's got a
Oh
deagle.
yeah. Was that blood vomit that was spraying around? Oh dude, it's a furry. The way it grabbed itself when it got shot, like, ow. Oh, it's Pyramid Head's brother.
Another
Long
fall
Stick Man.
game. Holy crap, fall's gonna be stacked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With that pose.
I mean, I'm assuming this is a small team. I don't know how much it's gonna cost. It looks okay. Oh. So that's most of the stuff. That seems to be all the stuff that was in the ID and Xbox event.
Yeah.
Okay, nothing important there. And then I want to go to my favorite section of the thing. That will switch over to anime manga talk time. I actually just watched all of Insomniac's After School. Um, I'll just bring up the thing here so you can read the synopsis. Don't ask why this is dark mode and the other one's light mode. I don't. I just don't ask.
Dark mode forever.
Dark mode forever. Honestly, pretty fun show. My issue with it is that they kind of just ditch the Insomniac aspect of these characters kind of gets thrown to the wayside in the later episodes.
I'm sure it's not that big of a deal. It's only in the title.
Well, I don't want to say, but they both have insomnia for like it's trauma induced. I think is the best way to say it.
it's it's part of the plot for a reason, right? Like,
Yeah, it's the thing
okay.
that brings them together. Like when he finds her, she's sleeping in a locker like it's a coffin in the
That's normal.
observatory that no one's using. No, like
That's what
it's
people
like
with
lying on
insomnia
the
do.
ground. Yeah, it's it's very sweet. It's good, but by the end, I was like, you could kind of see the end coming, but that's fine.
Mhm.
If you, it's one of actually last season's anime. It didn't end up watching it. I saw it. I was like looking through something. I saw a teaser for it. I'm like, oh, I can watch that. I ended up watching the whole thing. It's good enough. I feel like people overrate this and underrate other stuff, but that's kind of the way of anime-ness.
Yeah.
It's very pretty though. Like if you want like a super like pretty looking like something nice to look at, uh they basically get caught sleeping in the like hanging out in the observatory and the teachers the the school nurse is like, "Are you guys having sex in here?" And they're like, "No."
No, we just have trauma and we're trying to sleep.
Well, that she finds it comforting to sleep on him. I'm not
For
gonna tell
wholesome
you why.
reasons, or
It's wholesome reasons. It's very wholesome.
okay,
Although
good.
she wakes up in a not so wholesome pose, I'll leave it at that. So you can watch the show.
Oh my.
Uh, honestly, it's pretty fun. I don't think there was ever a point where like, oh, this wasn't fun. Like he has problems too, and they have a cat. But
I'm
yeah,
sold.
they basically just she hangs out in the observatory, and to keep the when the teacher finds out, she's like, you can't you can't just stay here. This is this is the warehouse. Like you can't just do this. And he offers to start back up the astronomy club
Mm,
to keep it for her because she he knows what it's like to not be able to sleep, and she can sleep there, so it means a lot to him.
okay.
So, but he's kind of a
Kind of
he's
what?
he's kind of he just assumes that he's the only one with problems at first. So it is a good show. I don't think it's quite to that 8, 9 era. It does a pretty good job of what it's trying to do. Anyway, let's go to other stuff that's airing. Ryza. Ryza's airing. If you
I
watch the
believe you mean
opening,
Pfizer.
oh, you watched the opening theme. You know exactly. They know exactly who's watching the show.
Mm-hmm.
They show off the goods a lot. Uh, so far, it's been following the game, like the first game, basically to a T. Uh, they definitely cut down stuff for reasons like there's no like you don't have to synthesize things, so you can cut time down from synthesizing stuff.
Oh, sorry to interrupt. A lot of games are randomly being announced, it seems. And
What?
Clock Tower is getting a remaster coming to Xbox.
Okay. What?
Woo!
What else was getting announced?
Uh, El
I suck.
Shaddai just got announced.
Oh yeah, the LG the limited run games thing's happening right now. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Okay, there'll be more of that stuff. I can still talk about anime, but Clock
Oh
Tower.
yeah, keep
That's
going.
the
I'm
Super
happy for
Nintendo
that.
Clock Tower, isn't it?
Yeah, the Sunsoft and Capcom one.
Yeah. Anyway, uh, if you've never played Atelier Ryza and you want to know about the story, the anime so far has been a very good way to catch that. There's obviously not all the side hustle and bustle character things. I haven't had my best side event, but they did show her. If you know, you know. If you don't spoil it. Don't look it up because it's a great line. Um, but it's basically just the game. So if you want to just play the game, play the game. If you want to not play the game, you can watch the anime. It's only 2 episodes of I think 12. Yes, 12.
Yeah. They're just doing a seasonal thing with it to see to gauge interest. It'll definitely help game sales though.
Maybe we'll see. Uh, Uchi no kaisa no chisa
Oh,
senpai
they're
no
killing
hanasi.
me. The Castlevania Advance Collection is coming to Xbox One, PS4, and Switch for limited run games physicals. But
Oh, they are getting physical. Hold the
well,
line. Oh my
there's
god, people are holding.
four covers to choose from, which means some people are going to be buying all four. They did it for each of the games included: Circle of the Moon, uh, Aria, uh, Dracula X. Was that the version of it, or is it
Rondo X, Dracula X,
Rondo X? I
Rondo
mean,
Planet.
and the one with Justy. Oh, that's sorry to get sidetracked. That's just ugh,
I
good
know,
stuff.
I know how much you love that.
Yeah, I'm,
Anyway,
I'm a big Castlevania guy. Now
the the the
continue.
the my company has a tiny senpai. I have a tiny senpai at work. My tiny senpai, hilarious, really
Yeah,
fun. Um,
good
the
natured, good time.
oh, it's extra funny because the blonde here in the I don't, you can't see my cursor, but the blonde in the can I make it bigger? Can I actually get bigger?
The one with the
There we
green
go.
shirt.
Yes, that's his like childhood friend, and she has no interest in him whatsoever. And the manager's like this super weird guy, and his fetish is basically trying to get like nurturing other people's romance.
The
And
matchmaker
she
friend.
clearly has a thing for him, and vice versa. It's I wouldn't say it's like the best romance comedy that's ever
Hmm.
existed, but it's fun. And she does a lot of gags with doing cat like things. She's like on her way to work, and she sees a cat, and she's like, meow, and she's meowing at the thing, trying to get the cat to come out. It's all in all a very fun show. Don't expect like any
I
deep
dig it.
beating plot.
I'm expecting some crazy, crazy twists.
Uh, My girlfriend doesn't like it that much. It's like her least favorite of the season. I'll get to her favorite in a second. Actually, I think it's to the bottom of the list. This one you were actually familiar with.
Which one?
I did just should have just switched over now
Oh, there it
on the
is.
stream.
Yes. This is one of the two that I'm very excited for this season.
Uh, yeah.
'Cause I've read
So
this one.
more or less, it doesn't have a very high score, which I'm not surprised. It's basically a harem anime disguised as an isekai. I have a real question though. Why the hell does he have a gun?
Well, you see, that is one of his special things he gets. Um, one of the skills he gets is basically he can kill monsters outside of dungeons to get special drops that are unique to a person. And his tends to be bullets for his gun, and nobody else knows what the gun is. But he's like, "Oh, they had these in my world. I know what this is." So he'll get like flame and ice bullets and use it. And people are like, "Did he just cast that like without saying anything or a staff or anything?" And he just pulls the gun out and shoots someone. So like it's used really well. It's very funny. It never
So
comes off
far,
as
we have
broken
only
though.
met Emily, and the bunny girl has not introduced herself, but she's hit him in the face twice.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's like a harem, although there's the bunny girl that has no sexual interest. She specifically loves carrots, and because his ability to get S tier
I
drops
figured that's
means,
what.
yeah, because he can get literally the highest quality drops, he can get the highest quality carrots. She's like doing anything to hang out with him to get those. The shopkeeper definitely likes him, and
Well, she asked him
uh
out for drinks in the first episode. I
yeah,
haven't met
he's
the other
very
lady yet.
tense. I don't even remember the other lady, unless
The other two
that's the
there,
one.
I haven't met them yet. So we met the lady who asked him to do something, but he literally buys a house for Emily, so she already won the harem. Sorry, guys. Like, sorry, ladies. She
Yeah,
won. She got the house.
the
So,
shopkeeper doesn't give up though. She's wholesome too. It's nice because it doesn't seem like any of the characters are falling into the usual tropes of just like I'm mad at them and I can't express feelings, blah blah. It's more like no, these are adults. These characters, they know how humans function. If
we'll
there's a
see.
problem, they say it.
We'll see. I don't know. Emily's a sweetheart, so and her
Oh
giant
yeah.
hammer.
Does
It,
she say anything like as a catchphrase in the anime yet?
uh, besides her being excited to act like a wife, like a housewife, but
I'll
not
have to
being able to
double
put it in
check
words.
because I don't
She
know if
does call
it's
him Yoda though.
I. That's what I was saying. That's why when I was like, "Yo, my boy Yoda got an anime," you were like, "His name's not Yoda." I was like, "No, wait though,
No, she calls him Yoda because they can't.
Yoda."
So I'm guessing they're doing that Japanese thing where they're like it's clear they're supposed to not be speaking Japanese, but they're speaking Japanese.
Yeah,
So there's a bunch of words that they say that are supposed to be hard to pronounce because they're Japanese and no one can pronounce his name right, so that they all call him varying terms of it's Setoru, right? Hold on, I gotta remember what his name is. Yeah, it's Rotas Sato. His name. She just calls him Yoda.
yeah, and it is funny because since it's an isekai, it's the idea that none of these characters know Japanese, so it seems like a weird name to them. Even though if you're watching a Japanese sub, you're like, everyone's speaking Japanese. So it comes off as one of those like,
Yeah,
what's
but
going
everyone's
on
got
kind of
English
things.
names.
Yeah. Or at least non-Japanese. Most of them are English, but some of the characters that you'll meet are like other ethnicity sounding.
I don't
But
know.
I haven't run into anyone that sounds Japanese.
It's fun,
Oh yeah,
but
it's a fun time.
it's only been one episode, so it's not top of the list.
Once it continues, I think it'll go up. it has a bit of a slow start,
Nier still
but
hasn't come back to airing, so we can just ignore that. Uh,
yeah,
it's been since the winter. We've been waiting since winter for the rest of the show to air. It just hasn't aired. We're just like, oh, what's going on?
yeah.
Pokemon Horizons hasn't aired in a couple weeks actually. For some reason, I don't know what's going on with that. I have
Hmm.
to go look into it more. It's fun. Captain Pikachu is a boss.
I appreciate that it's 11 episodes out of question mark
Well,
instead
doesn't
of
know how
every other
many.
one.
Captain Pikachu, he is a boss. He is the boss. Everyone talks. Captain Pikachu is the
Look at
man.
me. Look at me. I am the
I'm the
captain
captain
now.
now. He is the captain.
Pikity
Yeah,
Pinkapee.
it's kind of fun not having Satoshi be the main character. Where
Yeah.
was
I
I?
mean, don't get me wrong, I loved having him around for so long, but it's nice to be able to have new blood.
Yeah, it's season 3 of Rent a Girlfriend. The first episode was actually like insanely good. I was,
It's got to be a trap.
oh, this show's not good. It's not good, but I
No,
like, just
it's
love
definitely a
watching.
dumpster fire that's fun to watch.
It's, I don't think it's a dumpster. It's kind of a dumpster fire, but more because it's like this is never gonna happen. But I want to see where the writer thinks this is going.
Ooh.
Uh, if you haven't watched the first 2 seasons of it, I really can't talk about season 3 without massive spoilers. The other
Yeah,
two
it's
seasons.
basically a race to be who can be the most
Uh,
toxic girl to this guy,
not
and
really.
he is also the worst
Not
human
really.
being.
No, I think you're thinking of something completely different. He's actually a pretty nice guy. The problem is that the series literally starts with him like I'm talking about season 1. He literally gets dumped by like his girlfriend because a lot of people rate their entire life upon having girlfriends and significant others. And he finds out about this rental girlfriend service and ends up going on a date with,
Which is a real thing, by the way.
yeah, that doesn't exist. Caesar here in the middle. Not Memmy here is his ex at the back.
Mm-hmm.
This is the new girl that I don't like.
Which one?
This one, the one that's leaning forward a lot.
The purple?
Yes, on the purple skirt. I was just saying with black hair, but she's not the only one with black hair anymore.
Yeah.
Here's his actual, well, the
I
other
don't remember
girlfriend.
her character enough. I just remember the original four. And the pink dress, I think her name's Sumi or
Sumi's the
Chiki
best
or
girl. I will take no
Sumi.
shit.
She
No shit.
she doesn't belong in the show because she's like the wholesome character
She's the best
that
character.
yeah, she doesn't really belong because you've got the toxic asshole in the back, the blonde.
Yeah,
You've got
she's really
the
toxic.
yeah. What was her name? Nami or
A
Mommy
mommy.
or
I think it's mommy.
okay.
We
Then you've
actually
got
looked that up. It's mommy. Sumi.
okay.
Ruka's the other one.
Yeah,
And sorry,
Ruka's on the left.
Mini is the last one, and I really don't like her.
Yeah, it seems like they already have the tropes they need with the characters. I don't think they need to add any more.
I don't know why
Um,
they added her. You didn't really need her. She's
yeah,
like
I don't
gotcha
even remember her.
obsessed. And I was
You
like,
said
oh, it's
gotcha
this.
obsessed?
Yes.
Huh.
Yeah, and I'm like, I
Doesn't
don't.
sound like an interesting character trait.
I mean, yeah, she's supposed to be just like way younger than them, and I'm like, but she's like, they're just in college. Like there shouldn't be this massive difference between them. This is just you being bad at younger kids. I get it. Just whatever. Yeah, mommy's really bad.
Oh yeah, she is the definition of that bitch.
Yeah. So she basically dumps him to try and find something better, and then when he starts trotting around Chizuru, she gets super jelly and tries to get back with him.
Yeah, she literally doesn't like him. She just wants to make him miserable. which
But she
is
just she
super
wants
scummy.
she I don't know if she wants to make him miserable as much as she just wants to. She doesn't want. She made him miserable, and he's moved on, and she doesn't like it.
Yeah, which means her goal is to make him miserable again because she doesn't like seeing him happy.
She's like trying to make him miserable again. I don't know if she's still actually actively trying to date him or not, but like he's adult. He's a really kind adult, and he learns quickly that like his actions have repercussions. It's super interesting because this guy's like he wants to do the right thing, but he always goes about it the wrong way,
Hmm.
and he's got to make a decision at some point, or it's going to really hurt some girls' feelings.
Yep.
Like Sumi, I think knows she's not going to win.
She's in a different race. She's just happy to be there.
I don't know if she's just happy to be there. Like
Well,
he,
I mean, in the anime, not the situation. She's just happy to be included.
yeah, she's cute, very cute. She's when he says super wholesome, she's very shy, and
Yeah.
I'm like, I could see people because she's a rental girlfriend. Also, I think all of them are rental girlfriends except I don't know about the new one.
Yeah. I don't know anything
Riku
about that
isn't.
character.
Riku stopped being a rental girlfriend, but they were all. Nami wasn't either, but I don't know. I have a feeling she's gonna be a rental girlfriend or something. But she's a weird lady, absolutely weird. If you want to watch a weird drama bomb of a show about like rental girlfriends and other stuff, then yeah, I recommend it. Uh, just watch the other two seasons first, though. Hiragata Sky Precure. Um, it's Precure. If you don't like magical girls, I'm sorry. Don't watch it. We're like halfway-ish through the season at this point. It's decent enough.
So
And
what
I
do you think of the
watched.
show? Well, it's decent enough.
It's not the best
High
Precure.
praise.
It's not the best Precure that's ever aired,
Mhm.
to say the least. But it's not the worst either. It's still. It was actually really funny this week. Because at the ending credits of this season, they've shown like past Precures,
Mhm.
and this week's Precure was Cure Dream, who's going to be our adult Precure in the fall.
Okay.
So I don't know. I don't know how that's gonna work. I was hoping for like to see something and be like, but no, it's just Cure Dream. There she is. But here we are, the show that makes me wonder the most because the game was announced first. Sin Duality Noir. I gotta be honest. I just this show maybe just wanted to want to play the game. I'm like, where's the game? I want to play it.
Well, here's the smartest thing they could do if this was set up early enough. This could end and the game starts right where that is, which would give them enough time to release whenever this ends.
January.
Um,
That would be about.
yeah, so that would give them more time to fix the game up because they've ghosted everyone. They haven't said anything. So I
Yeah, they
mean,
did.
I have to assume something's up
It
with
also
it.
has a pretty strong cast. I was kind of surprised going through, like I was watching it, and I'm like, yep, this is a good cast. Yep, this is a Bandai show. So it's 24 episodes, and it's gonna go from now until guessing December sometime to air. So what I didn't get a lot of backstory about the way the world is, but there was a lot shown that was not really explained. There's something about the rain; it's contaminated, so they don't go out in the rain, and it causes weird monsters to show up.
When you say contaminated, do you mean like you can't drink it or like you can't
I
touch it?
don't know. They decontaminate
Okay.
the mechs and everybody when they go back into town, and towns are like sealed up, and they have like they're basically skylights and whatever.
Okay.
It's post-apocalyptic.
No, it sounds pretty normal, man.
Well, I mean, you would have known that from the trailer, and they seem to have some sort of weird dehydrated food that they can rehydrate easily. Like everything seems to be. It was weird because they like go
Are
in.
they
They
on
like,
Earth?
I would assume so, because he has a collection of like trinkets that he doesn't understand.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, fuck off. No, they brought back Gex. Fuck off. Is it
Well,
gonna get censored? Are they gonna censor
all
it?
I all I know is Donkey is gonna make a video immediately. Gargoyles are set.
No, are they gonna
Jurassic
censor it?
Park?
Like seriously? Sorry?
Jurassic Park collection? I'm sorry. What?
I'm like insanely curious now. Okay. We've been sidetracked. Okay. Oh.
This game looks like a Philips CDI game. The RZ
Tomba?
one.
No Xbox version, but Tomba's coming back. Which ones are included in the. Oh. Do we just even get the Genesis ones?
Yeah, people are posting CDI gifts
Oh my god,
from
no,
that
fuck
game.
off. Gargoyles remastered? Holy shit.
Yep.
Can I make this work without showing the everything on my Twitter? Let's see. Can I do it? Hold on, let me just turn this off for a second. We'll get back to that later.
Gex Trilogy coming to all platforms.
Yeah, but
Oh
but the
no,
thing is with Gex
Square
is
Enix.
okay. Let's be real here for a second. Gex is 100% a product of its time and cannot exist in the woke society that we live in. They would lose their minds. If you've never played Gex ever in your life, trust me on this. They'd have to censor it. So Mario 64 was talking about it. So apparently they're doing new cutscenes and a new song for Clock Tower. Yeah,
Yeah,
Gex, I don't know how this is gonna work. I really don't.
people are
Tomba
already
is not
tagging Donkey.
Tomba's not getting a Xbox port, which sucks.
Yeah.
So does this include the
Unfortunately,
Genesis?
though,
This
Gex
one.
is owned by
This is the
Square right
one.
now.
This is the one. This is the one that made me excited.
Which
Gargoyles remastered?
Gargoyles? Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
that's a great game.
Yeah.
Is that the jewel? I've never seen this game before. This looks familiar. This one's also coming to Xbox. This looks like a CDI game. Is this a CDI game?
That's what I was saying. It looks just like the Philips CDI era of Zelda games.
I know you can't see it in the corner there. There's a GIF, and it's just the good. The cursed CDI
You
Zelda.
killed me. Good.
Good.
Oh,
Cosmetic.
a Shantae thing, of course.
Wait.
Specifically GBA. Shantae Advanced Risky Revolution.
Okay. But oh, it would be released on a GBA compatible cartridge. That's pretty cool.
Do you think it's weird though that Square decided to keep Gex, but they were like, screw Tomb Raider, we don't need it. That's just weird to me.
They kept Gex?
They kept Gex. I don't know why. Like, it doesn't make any sense, but it's hilarious.
Wait, wasn't that an Enix IP? Or was
It
it Crystal
was
Dynamics?
Crystal Dynamics.
It's gonna be censored to like no end. I'm telling you right now, it's gonna be censored to no end.
But they have to
I'm
know it'll
gonna
be
be
dead on arrival if they
so
do that.
broke. Yeah,
It's
that's what I mean.
living
It's
on
like
nostalgia.
you're either gonna have to put in a disclaimer that this game was made in a different time, and it's presented as is. Voice lines will not be
Yeah,
changed, because if you start taking them out,
exactly. It's a historical piece.
it really is. I don't know. I really don't know. Um, it's so hard to say. I'll be buying 6 copies of Shantae. Oh my god. Um, I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be broke. I'm gonna buy like all of these. Clock Tower. You bet your ass I'm buying it.
Yeah.
Shantae. Tail is imminent. Yeah, but are you censoring it? Is what I want to know. Because Gex was awful. Like,
Gex was also like Family Guy in that they make a reference every 15 seconds to something completely arbitrary and not related.
yeah.
This is like that time I choked on Howard Stern's penis.
So there's actually gonna
Thanks,
be an
Gex.
Xbox version of this physical
Of which one?
of Castlevania.
I believe so, because it shows it in the bottom right on the
Do
pre-orders open
do
part.
do 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 do.
The four covers, though, that's awesome. If I had to pick, I'd probably go with Circle of the Moon just because of
Are
how much
they?
nostalgia I have,
Can I? Can I? Okay,
even though it's
let me go
arguably,
look at Limited Run's site. I don't like going there, but because I don't
yeah,
buy from there because they fucked me.
you weren't the first, you won't be the last.
Well, the thing is that do they have any stuff on it? I don't think they do yet. Yeah, it's fine.
I
Yeah,
don't know.
shopping you guys stay. We'll gouge you for shipping. Yeah, thanks. I'll just buy from fucking VG Plus. It's not here. Oh wait. No, they're just on Twitch.
Yeah, I wonder if they're still updating it.
Still running.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so the best thing I got is the Wario. Best thing I got for you right now is this. And we can go back to anime talk in a second. Okay, I'll keep an eye on this thread and we can go back to it in
Mm.
between stuff, but I want to talk more about syndivality. I might have to start from the hop and just not get completely sidetracked. Where is it? It's this one. So syndivality is absolutely weird. It kind of reminds me of Xenosaga in a way, because hold on. Let me scroll down here. So do we have more art so I can show the characters more? Okay. Noir here is what's known as a Magnus, which is like a robot kind of character. And the giant mech things are kind of put into two separate compartments. There's the front part and the back part, which is known as the coffin. And the coffin's where the Magnus goes to help you pilot these things. So
Mm.
this is just what I picked up from the episode. I don't know exactly how stuff works, but the fact that I can just watch a thing and it'll show stuff. Uh, More or less, uh, there's like So a lot of anyone who's a pilot of one of these things has a Magnus, and there's people that don't. And our main character is kind of adult, but his best friend's more of an adult. It's fucking crazy. He gets like drunk at the bar. Though I love Bob. Bob is great. He's a Magnus.
Hmm.
What else can I say about it? Like there was good action. The world looked good. It's actually a nice combo of 2D and 3D, and I will get into bad 2D and 3D animation combinations in a moment because there's shows I'm watching that I'm gonna talk about. Honestly,
So
very
waiting to see if you have my show on there.
what show?
Zom 100.
No, sorry,
Do you know what it is?
no.
Oh, well, now you gotta check Mal for it real quick.
Zom 100. Let me.
Yeah.
Do you have any weird questions about sensuality before I move on then
I
to Zom
mean,
100?
not exactly, just because I I don't know what's going to stay the same in the game, what will diverge. So
I have
like,
a feeling that them going to mine for whatever that crystal thing was, but the two of them having a dick measuring contest and the old lady in the robot telling them to stop it was hilarious. Honestly, a pretty fun show. A fun first episode, despite some
yeah,
bad
and
shit
I hope that
happening.
translates to the game too, of course.
I don't
That
know how many
same
of these
kind of humor.
characters are going to be in the game. I watched the
Yeah.
trailer again. I think it's this lady here, Cecile, which I don't think we met her yet.
Which one?
Seal, Seal. I'm pretty sure that's how you say that. C
The
I
second
E
down from
L.
the left?
Yeah, Seal. Yellow.
Yellow.
Yeah, yeah. It's fun enough as is, but I haven't met her yet, so I'm wondering if it's like a dual protagonist kind of deal, like Scarlet Nexus.
Yeah, that's what I was assuming.
But I don't know yet. The thing is that they in like the gameplay footage we've seen more than one like I can't remember what they call them in here, but the mechs they have more than one of them. So maybe
Mm,
there's co-op, maybe there isn't. I don't know. I don't know what the overall plot is, but it's whatever. So Zom 100.
yes.
What?
So basically, this dude, fresh out of college, starts work, and it's a black company, and they treat him like shit, and he's exhausted all the time. So after a few years there, he hates his life. He hates everything. He's just dead inside. The zombie apocalypse happens on his way to work, or at least he wakes up and notices it's happening, and he gets super excited because he realizes there's no more work now. So he makes a bucket list of 100 things he wants to do before he turns. He doesn't get bit or anything. He just means, while surviving the apocalypse. And it's actually a combination of horror now and then, but mostly comedy and humor and wholesomeness and a little bit of etchy. The characters are really fun, and it's actually written really well. I had been following the manga for a while, and then out of nowhere, they're like, "Yeah, it's gonna be an anime," and I was like, "What? Yo!" Um,
It's got a
yeah, it's
Boom
got a
theme song too. Interesting.
yeah, it's
They
got a
went all
really good
out.
vibe to it. Yeah, I was very excited for this. The production value looks really good,
I'll think about it.
and of course, um, I don't want to spoil anything, so I won't say what happens. But he has the hots for one of the women that he works with, and it's more like the older senpai, she'll never notice me type of thing. And like he's leaving his house one day and she's like, "Oh, like she's down over there. What's the matter?" And she just turns and she's a zombie and he's like, "You don't look so good. Should we take you to like the hospital?" Like he's completely unaware that the zombie apocalypse is starting. He's just like, "Oh no, you're drooling. Let me get you a tissue. Let me help you out." He he's so nonchalant about it. Like I remember one of the neighbors who's holed up in their house trying to survive zombies with their boyfriend. He's like, "I'm gonna head to the store. Do you guys want anything?" And they're like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, I ran out of beer. I'm gonna go grab some." He just jumps on his little like motorized scooter thing and starts driving into town, climbing down the telephone pole and then coming back later with the booze. And they're like, "You really risked your life for that?" He's like, "Well, I mean, I ran out, so like, what's I gonna do? Not drink?" It, it seems silly. He's so casual about it all because even the zombie apocalypse is better than working for the black company he's been doing. So he's enjoying life. It's very wholesome.
Weird.
And
I'll
the
think
girl on
about
the
it.
cover, yeah, the girl on the cover with him is the kind of character who's like, I don't trust anyone. My own safety comes first. Like, not making friends. This is the apocalypse, and his personality slowly starts to actually win her over, and she starts to let her guard down a little and be more caring towards other characters instead of just self-preservation. It definitely gets deeper than just some doofiness. His
Eh,
friend is great too, the tan guy. Oh, there's so much humor with him.
I'll think about watching it.
Sure.
I'm like, I don't know. This show, I don't know what's going for. It's like
Which one?
the girl that like forgot her glasses.
I had actually just started reading that, and
I
I
don't know
don't know
how
what I
it's
expected,
I don't know how
but
it's
it's
gonna
really good.
survive. It's decent, but I don't know how this is gonna survive for 13 episodes. Like how it's gonna stay interesting for 13 episodes.
I guess it would depend how fast they move along from the
The
source
first
material.
episode was okay. I need to get something out of the way just off the hop. This is a Go Hands production, and they like to do this thing where they mix CG with 2D, but they don't do it in a very good way.
This is their specific thing. It's not good, but they like to do it.
It's like so that the first episode has this like long shot and it's like one take and it just the camera just turns and stuff and the characters are walking through it and I'm like the 2D animation section of it is very impressive, but the 3D animated sections of it are not so much. They they like have realistic textures on stuff which looks like it doesn't belong.
And
So it's like the characters are floating and then they do
how is it used
things.
in this one?
uh, they used it very much in the beginning. When it's just the 2D characters and they're in like a stationary position, they use something that seems more fitting.
Mhm.
But like they like to do all these big, expansive and like crazy things, and it's like it's got to show off all this fun, cool. Like look how cool this animation style is, and I'm like, oh god, please stop making a fool of yourself. The show itself, I think, is carried by its voice cast
Interesting.
because the animation, like I said, is jarring at most. I think Sumi said it the best on Twitter. It's train wreck, and I'm here for it. I believe is what they said. Do I like the second episode aired yesterday, and it was so the plot is this girl's pretty blind. Like she's without her glasses, she's basically blind,
Yeah,
and he's had a crush on her for a while because she's got very pretty eyes, and he's like
very piercing.
not piercing, more like uh she usually has like Like when she's wearing her glasses, her eyes are like big. When she's not, she's like squinting and she's got like this angry look, like grumpy look they call it.
Yeah,
She
oh,
looks
that's what I mean. When
grumpy.
she's not wearing the glasses, she's got a very piercing, like, looks like she's looking down at you, but she's just squinting because she's blind.
She can't see anything. Yeah, she's really like it bothers her. The first episode, um, there's a lot that gets covered in the first episode. I'm like, this could have been just like an OVA or like a couple of episodes, and it would have gotten the point across. That's why I'm like, I don't know how long the legs are on this. I really don't.
Mhm.
I'm gonna keep watching it, but I'm just worried it's gonna run out of gas at some point. Because the second episode's like, oh, she asked me out to go out and to hang out, and I'm like, that's not an episode 2. If you want this to be a romance thing, this is not an episode 2 kind of topic.
Episode
That's
3 is
that's like
so you had
episode
our
4
first
or
kid.
5. You know, like it's like, oh, I have a crush on this girl, and you know I'm helping her. That's like episode 5 material.
I mean, it's got a decent amount of chapters, so there's definitely stuff to take from.
Yeah, it is interesting. Like some of the jokes are fun, and the stuff happens is fun, but it, like I said, I just don't know. I don't see the legs. I don't see the legs on it. So I'm like,
Mhm.
what's gonna happen with this one? Not sure.
Yeah.
I'm gonna skip over Idolmaster because I really haven't gone back to finish it, and I'm maybe at some point will. This
Mhm.
has been the one. This is the surprise show of the season. The Masterful Cat is depressed again today. This is also a Go Hands production, so it does that CG 2D thing, but they don't do it nearly as much because it seems to be so far it's been more condensed. So there's just only one episode so far. There's been like a couple um sets. There's like her apartment. There's work. So maybe I should explain what the show's about. Um,
Sure.
so Saku, the main character, the main girl here, adopts this cat. Um, he's not full grown like this when she adopts him. Finds him somewhere, like out in the snow, and takes him in. We don't find out much about that. This is an episode 2 thing, but you see that the cat basically like takes care of her, like
Mhm.
like a mother. Does the cooking, makes sure she goes takes a bath, make sure she gets up in time for work.
The cat does all that?
Yes, he's literally as
Uh,
big as you see him in the picture.
Clifford the Big Red Cat?
That's cute. That's very cute, actually. Yeah, but he like gets off on being like a good cook and like it's like
Does
he's like
he know English? Or
no,
is it just
he
little
doesn't.
meows and
He just like gestures, but he has internal monologue. So he does have a voice actor,
okay.
but it's interior monologue
Yeah.
because it's funny because he's like cleaning the house. He's doing the housework and stuff, and he's like cleaning the house and stuff. And he goes to clean the shower. And he's got like this little hood and like has I call it almost a hazmat suit because he hates water.
Because there's a cat afraid of water. Yeah.
He just
That's
hates
cute.
water. He's like scrubbing and like gets all over him. He's like, "Mm."
I do love that trope where it's like animal or a creature is intelligent enough to have moved past logically all of the fears that they have, and yet even with like an intelligent voice and all that, they still have the tropes, like a dog character being very smart but then being terrified of a vacuum, even though it's like you have a degree in ferrodynamics and you're still like "Woo, woo, woo," when the vacuum gets too close. I love those kind of tropes.
uh, it's pretty. It's actually like way more fun than I thought it would be. I
I do
picked
remember
it
you were
because
saying
I'm like
like,
I
yo,
picked
why is this so good?
It's
He
like, why is
sounded
this
really
good?
surprised.
This is legit good. Why? I don't get it. I expect this to be like just junk, but it is fun.
That's the best stuff when you don't expect it and something
Oh,
really surprises you
literally,
like
we
that.
go through the list of like shows that are coming up, and it's like, okay, want this one, or we'll see a preview for something, be like, okay, we're watching that one, and then it's always the one I'm like, this, but this one though. Yeah, but
Yeah,
that looks dumb, and I'm like, yeah, but I'm here for it.
yeah, exactly.
Well, it's not the vending machine one. It's still on. It's like reincarnated as a vending machine. I think is
Yeah,
the one that's airing, and
there's a
people are
couple
talking
like
about it,
that.
and I'm just like, I can only have one each isekai, and the other one won because there's a bunny girl in it. Girlfriend loves bunny girls that aren't like lewd bunny girls.
Wholesome bunnies.
Yes. So it was
Bunny
like
women.
that's the thing. She's like she wanted to watch that. That's fine. I'm like okay, that's fine, whatever. But this was the show, and it's just like this could be furry bait, but it's not. She's not interested in the cat that way because people are like, because she's an office worker,
Hmm.
and people at the office are like, "Oh, she always brings her a homemade lunch. That must mean that she's like a good cook. Oh, that's like good. Should
Do
be a
they
good
know it's a
wife."
cat?
They don't know but the cat. They don't know if the cat's
Okay.
doing it, and she's like, she says it, and she's like, "No one's gonna believe me." But at the very end of the episode, you could see this is the name of the cat. He's like taking the trash out,
Hmm.
and there's an old lady in the apartment building who's talking to him, and he like takes trash out, puts it in the thing, and there's crows outside going to look at the trash, and he's like, mm, does like the stern look, and they all fly off, and like yeah, so like, and it appears that he goes out shopping and stuff, so it's like it shouldn't be completely crazy, but I wonder. It's kind of like the helpful fox Senko, but less etchy,
Less humanoid.
less etchy. At least he doesn't
Sad.
float.
I like the bread loaf cat. I
Oh,
know
he
she's a
does the
fox,
loaf.
but
He
she's
does
a cat.
loaf.
Oh,
He
good.
loafs. He loafs. He does the cat loaf thing. He's like sleeping on the bed. His cat loaf. It it's pretty funny actually. It's probably is the sleeper hit of the like the one was like zero expectations going in of the list. I will go back to the list for a second so you can see what was on there again. Minus Idol Mastery because I don't think I'll ever finish that. Okay, I should mark this as complete. This is complete. Complete. Yes, I got update. Whatever. Uh, I don't know. It's a very interesting season because it's not as chock full as the other ones with stuff that I actually wanted to watch. So I kind of had to
Hmm.
dig for stuff that was a little outside of my comfort zone,
Yeah,
and then ended up
and
not watching some of that stuff.
yeah.
Is there anything like I know people were talking about the what was airing this season? Just go through it quick. Uh, seasonal anime. Yeah, Bang Dream. Yeah, so I mean, it's kind of like a lot of There's a lot of isekai stuff, and I'm just not. I can't do too much isekai stuff. How do you wander the dungeon as a vending machine? I don't know. There were some cool OVAs happening this season, though, that I was interested in. These are continuing ones.
Mhm.
There was. That's Chinese stuff. So, Death Island's supposed to be out already. The new
Yeah,
Resident Evil Biohazard Death Island. They're never very
those have
good.
been doing pretty good. Yeah,
They're never good. They're never good.
I
But
mean,
they're
popularity-wise, they've been doing good recently. The
they're
movies
never
themselves haven't been good, but
they're never good. They're never
there's been scenes in them that are good though. Like the gun kata fight that Leon and Chris do in the hallway.
good.
That was dope. The
Yeah, it's
movie
never
itself
good.
might have not been great, but that scene was awesome.
Yeah, the new Miyazaki film's supposed to be out soon. But I'm assuming that's
Hmm.
gonna be theater only. So we're not gonna see it for a while. We know nothing about this film because I didn't want anyone to know about it. It says it's about a book, but I knowing Miyazaki, it's whatever. Yes, the Sandland thing's out in August. The OVA for Sandland. Was the game out again? September?
Uh, I don't remember.
I think it's September, but there's a Sandland OVA happening. So be interesting to see
Is it
that.
really that close already? Jeez,
Yeah, man.
I can't.
That's why we
I can't
have to talk
believe.
about the next topic after we get the
Yo,
Precure All Star movie. Who's in here?
PQ.
Pretty cute. Oh, the Mahotsukai girls are here. Oh, Alamode. Interesting. Look, guys, magical girls are great. It's the 20th anniversary of Precure. It better be a good one. Yeah, there's Cure Summer. Your dream. All the pink Precures. And Sora just not being pink. What's up with you, Sora? Not being pink.
I'm
Yeah.
different.
Yeah, and the essential tuplets gets it's like a mist section of the show, apparently. That's from the manga. I don't know. I don't know exactly, but yeah, there's more of that, so more quintuplets. Get ready for more quintuplet memes. And more of Miku being best girl. Get over it! Alright. Now for the last topic before we go into stuff. Our awards. Ours. The ones we're making. They're coming up, and do I have a page or anything for this? I do not. I want to know what people are going to want to nominate. Categories are still up in the air. Last year's I just did whatever I wanted. I'm actually gonna switch to this one. Put that back on. And so that's the thing. I just want some suggestions for games to be nominated and categories. I don't even know if we have enough JRPGs this year to have a JRPG category. Like I've literally
Uh,
looked and I'm like, we're gonna have Sea of Stars. We're gonna have Loot Bait, which I don't consider really a JRPG. I love Loop 8, but it's not a JRPG.
I mean, we also have the smaller indie ones, like even Raging Bites is technically an
It
RPG.
is Raging Bites, but I don't know if they're like enough to move the needle, right?
Maybe. Although there is stuff like
If you go too
the
niche, then people are gonna like it's something that people won't even know. They might not even vote for it. I'm not
true, but I
against
feel like oh, go on.
I'm not against putting like spotlight on it because we're gonna be
Hmm.
working out the since this is a community driven show. I have no problem working out a lot of the stuff in the public. The only thing that's going to be
Hmm.
kept private is going to be is like final stuff like when we do the actual stream. What's
Yeah.
that what
Plus,
that will look like and who's going to win what. I think only I will know that up until or whoever's going to announce it. However we work that out. But
yeah, I feel like it's okay to do some of the smaller games if there really hasn't been anything big that year, because I feel like it'd be better to include something than to just get rid of a category because there hasn't been that many. Because that way, at least we're giving a spotlight to some of the smaller indie games that are in the genre.
well we could change the the genre the award. It'd be
That's true.
something
We could try
else.
to
It's
make
being
it
changed.
fit
Just
better.
change the name to be like
Yeah.
big guys didn't show up. Because that's the thing. I don't have time to play all these games, and I don't want to be the arbiter of what game makes the cut and which one doesn't.
Hmm.
Because that's kind of the problem with last year is like I had to make snap decisions on some stuff because people kind of flaked on me. It's like, well, what game should actually, go for these categories?
Yeah.
So I'm thinking we keep um all you need is 2D, even if we rename it.
Hmm.
Um, since we actually have first party Xbox games this year, it should have a category.
Definitely.
Uh, I don't know if I want to do if I want to branch out for the other platforms. Mostly because I feel like the people that follow me and the people that are going to vote in this are going to be Xbox centric gamers, and they might not appreciate their. I could make it an optional thing on the like it not be required to fill up the survey because we're gonna be using Google Docs again, like we did last year.
Hmm.
Uh, Mostly because it's very simple to turn it into a chart, mess with the
Yeah.
chart, and get things, render it out.
Easy for multiple people to work on it that
Yeah.
you're trusting to work
So
on this with.
yeah. So when the translation work done, like we did last year, we're going to try and offer it in more languages if possible. But I know since we're mostly English speakers, it's going to be just English, Japanese, and probably Mandarin again.
I mean, we could always go to
I
Chuju
don't
or
want don't oust people here. We can try and get people to translate into another language. I know I have a decent amount of Spanish speaking followers,
mhm.
so maybe we get Spanish or Portuguese or whatever else. I don't have a huge amount of other languages though outside of, and I can only do Japanese myself. So,
Yeah,
and even then, I kind of just I get someone
we'll
to
definitely be
check
doing Pig Latin and Wingdings.
wingdings.
Gotta
Yes,
include everyone.
I'm gonna do wingdings. Uh, One of the suggested categories was Golden Turd, a
Yes.
game that was uh, hyped to no end and then was kind of was a letdown.
Yeah.
I don't know if we'll actually
I
keep
already
that
know.
or if we'll change the name, but that is the sentiment.
I
I'm
feel
sh-
like a better name might be the best of the worst,
I don't.
just because it sounds slightly more professional.
Mm, we kind of have a gem theme going on, or we were going for a gem theme last year, so it
Yeah.
could be like the false gem or something. I don't know. I don't want it to be too hard to explain. And the thing is, if we're translating it
Yeah,
to another language, it might also be an issue, and it will
yeah.
probably have to be changed. That is up to that, but the best of the worst here. So I don't know what fits in that category, but whatever. Uh, I feel like if we do a Team Green category or Xbox category, as it were, that Starfield's going to be runaway the winner. But I don't want to put it past a game like Hi-Fi Rush to just steal it with the, because this is community votes. This is not
Yeah.
us. I'm not also not doing the thing where we weight the votes one way or the other. Like any of the council members voting do not get more votes, say or anything. I don't want to
Mhm.
do a system like that.
Yeah. Keep it fair for everyone.
I we're council members are still allowed to vote, and I think we're going to still keep council's choice. So you get to nominate your own games if you help more than just. We have mouthpiece care people. We've got people that did some work behind the scenes last
Yeah.
year. We made stuff work, but council's choice will definitely be coming back. I think that was
And we
appreciated.
might have some things in the show that wouldn't be talked about in public. And I only say that because I don't want people to be like, I shouldn't tune into this because I don't want to be bored with the show. There's still going to be some surprises for people. I just, I don't want people to think that because they're helping out behind the scenes or taking part in just listening to this every week, that they're going to miss out on any of the fun.
No,
Like,
I want to
I,
try and make it
there's
as fun
definitely
as
some cool
possible.
stuff. Yeah. That's the thing about the community driven part. It's by the community for the community.
Yeah.
We're not trying to make this like, oh, it has to be popular and be
Yes,
noticed
we
by
need to
people.
we need to be the Keeleys 2.0.
Yeah, I was like, should I name drop him? I don't know.
Everyone
Yeah,
just calls
we're
them the
not trying to
Keeleys.
make
We're not trying
this
to be the Game Awards. We're not trying to be BAFTA. We're doing this for the
exactly.
community. I really absolutely hate the way that the whole reason this exists is because we hate the way that the Game Awards nominates things. And
Yeah,
since
and
we're
in
still
general, a
like,
lot of award shows do it, and it's annoying. But especially for games,
well, if you
it's
have,
petty.
it's like you have people that get to decide behind the scenes that they vote what games are going to be the uh, are going to be nominated for every category. You've already decided what were the top ones internally. Why do you need to have them be the final arbiter on who wins what?
Yeah, it. I don't know. It just seems like you're gonna get something that wins that doesn't belong, and also people don't want there because it, quote unquote, earned that spot, depending on who made it, when it came out. It's not about the game being good at that point. It's just about what will boost sales, what company needs something, what you're trying to sell. It's frustrating. We also won't have ads every 15 seconds, and we won't interview people with zero script in the middle of talking about something and then respond with uh-huh, uh-huh, uh-huh. And how did that make you feel? Gotta try to be a
Yeah,
little more consistent with that.
I don't know if we have any like meaningful interviews, but I have had a couple people express interest in being interviewed or having a section. I feel like if we
Yeah,
did interviews, they'd be like a video file we run or something. Like I
exactly.
have it
Because that
pre-recorded, so
way,
it's not,
yeah,
so it has a set amount of time to run and it's edited. So it
and
doesn't.
it can be edited so there's no dead air or taking up time going, well, want to make it streamlined and fun for people, not a 6 hour event they have to dedicate a day to.
Well, that's the thing. If we're doing interviews too, and we need people to translate stuff for sometimes,
Yeah,
that would be also a thing.
exactly. We're a small group of people. We got to get a lot done in advance. We don't have like an army of people to make things extra cool on site. We're gonna try to be
Yeah, we
working.
don't have like four people just sitting back to moderate and
Yeah,
switch to
exactly.
on a with a flip of a button. So that's the thing. I know indie. We had an indie gem
Yes.
last year that can come back. I think we do one that's specifically Game Pass, and
Yeah.
I think what we do to get the nominations for that one is we throw it out to the community and let them tell us what they want.
Yeah, and I think that one's going to be easier for the community because while a ton of people play all sorts of games, they might not always have access to the ones or have played some of the ones that pop up. But with Game Pass, people can actually still try many different things that are coming, and that'll help determine what they like, what they're into. So besides just for voting, people also get to try a lot of games that they might not have otherwise. And hopefully this gets some of the community more interested in trying things that maybe they don't always try because they heard about it at the awards or you
Yeah,
know
I also
it
feel
got
like
the bump.
going up to the awards or moving forward, we should try and do some sort of community nights.
Yeah, I think that'd be great.
Um, Trying to figure out the first one, which is going to be in celebration of ABK closing. I feel like we can also get some information from like info and ideas from people when they're in a game with us. Um, I don't know exactly how we're gonna do community nights. If it's just gonna be me, it's gonna be just you. If we're gonna get someone else to do it, but we want to give back to the community more than we are. At least I do,
Definitely. No, I
because
totally agree.
you don't get to just do whatever and end up talking about whatever you want.
Yeah, if you're gonna do something for the community, it helps to cultivate within that community good relations and try to engage with all of the community. It would be hypocritical of us to say we're big fans of the Xbox community, but also not interact with anybody except like once a year. I feel like it'd be a good idea to try to engage with everybody and make it as accessible and fun for everyone as you can because there's a ton of people that
Yeah,
would love to do this kind of thing.
I'm kind of feeling like that. Was it 33 Immortals or Immortal? It's 33 Immortals, right?
Oh, yeah, the one with like the
33
huge.
player multiplayer. I think that's going to be one of
Yeah,
the. That'll be definitely a game we try out. It'd be chaotic. It'd be crazy. Um, Jack Party Pack nights would be totally doable.
yeah. Anything that can get a huge group together that you don't have to worry about, like, oh man, how are we gonna take turns with this? Like, just anything that can get a huge group of people and have fun with.
Yeah, I feel like we can
Um,
start. We're gonna start small with the ABK one, and we're gonna pick ABK games. I don't know.
yeah.
Um, I'm assuming I don't have an exact date for when that's gonna happen because we still a lot up in the air. But I feel
Mhm.
like when they announce the game's coming to Game Pass, basically that'll be like, yeah, we're good. It's happening. It's
Yeah.
done. And I feel like it'll be interesting to say the least.
I mean, we did talk about how there's that weird thing that somehow all of the Call of Duties that are backwards compatible have gotten their servers fixed today. Could be coincidence. No one's talked about it,
Well, the
but
only one I have, is it in this case? I don't remember what case it's in. I don't know what case it's in, but I think it's Black Ops 2 on the 360.
mhm.
So I don't know, but I don't own a
Yeah,
lot of like Call of Duty games or anything, so it'd be. I'm not against playing them. It's just I don't own them, so and they
mhm.
rarely ever go on sale.
Yeah. Although I found out the reason for that. The reason they do that is actually to limit the sales. They don't want people to buy the older ones. After the time goes by and they release the new game, they want the player base to move forward. So they keep the price of the games almost the same as the brand new one. So that way, if you're going to buy one, you buy the brand new one to get all the features. They do that so that they don't have to keep up the server maintenance and they can move the player base more effortlessly to the next title.
Yeah, I
And
don't think
I
that's gonna happen
realized,
going forward.
yeah, I realized that's why a lot of those games don't go on sale. Um, like, sure, the sports games do, but Halo used to do the same thing where like it was the craziest thing, but it was Halo 3 with Halo 4 and 5 out, and it was still like 30 or $40. It's not to stop sales per se, but it's to persuade people to say, well, in comparison, I might as well get the newer one. So
I mean,
COD's
it probably
definitely been
works.
doing that for a
That
while. Oh, definitely. I mean, as time goes by, it only gets easier too. If you look at the price of Black Ops 2 from a decade ago, and it's almost the same as the brand new game, and you know the servers are basically dead and all these new features, why would you pay? Why risk it? So, I think that that's some new life in them when a lot of them come to Game Pass, and that'll be generating a lot more money too, just because there'll be people playing on those servers again without worrying that no one's playing the new stuff.
I'm actually very surprised that um, they didn't move COD to a business model where it just updated on its own. Like you just updated the game as you went. But that's
I feel like they were scared to do that for a while because people forget ABK was in some money troubles, which is one of the reasons they were selling. Like COD may make a ton of money, but they have been burning the candle at both ends to create new ones all the time and keep up with content. I I think they were too scared to risk changing the formula for COD because it was the only thing that was guaranteeing money at the time.
yeah.
And
So we have
the
five
slight
studios to
change,
work on it with hundreds of people. That's the
exactly.
thing. I don't.
It's not. It was never gonna be sustainable, which is why I think they sold. It's just
Well,
it,
there's a
it
lot of
was
reasons
not
to
working
sell.
out. Well, yeah, but I mean, like, if they didn't have COD, they would have had to sell for like half as much as they're being sold for now. That was the thing that was generating basically everything and keeping them afloat.
Yeah. Well,
I just noticed you
generate and
did the
keeping
same
them
thing with
afloat.
me.
You mean more or less keeping Bobby in money.
Yeah. A quick shout out to you doing the same thing I did at the staircase, seeing if that little hallway was real or just a wall, and then walking into the other thing and testing if it was a door. I saw you do that. I'm like, oh, I did the exact same thing.
It's like I played these games forever. Uh, and have been screwed by something that I couldn't see.
Exactly. Plus, with the camera angles, you can't just take a peek. You're like, well, I'm gonna run into this wall to make sure it's a wall.
Yeah. I'm just gonna take a quick look at what last year's final categories were.
Sure.
Then set up. I don't know if Never Saw It Coming needs to come back though. But I mean, Gex Trilogy just got announced, so that really is a Never Saw It Coming.
Yeah.
Port Beggar's Most Wanted for sure. Uh, did we get a lot of
Plus, I
visual
feel like
novels
every
this year?
year, uh,
I think we did.
I guess it would depend on,
It also
yeah,
included
on what you're
adventure
playing.
games last year. We put them together.
Yeah, and there's definitely been more this year than there was last year.
Yeah, although no AI Somnia files this year. We've got Gems of the West, Gems of the East, which doesn't necessarily include Japanese games because I don't. I feel like Japanese games always get more publicity than other Asian games.
I feel like it depends on the location. Like for us, it tends to for a lot of obvious reasons, but I feel like certain areas it's less focused on.
We have. I know we didn't do Gaming Crack. We did Gaming Crack, but we didn't do Council's Choice, which is the other one it could have been.
Yeah,
Have we had any game that's like Gaming Crack this year?
I mean, Diablo for a lot of people has been gaming crack, and Starfield is probably for a lot of people going to be that gaming crack for a bit. I think it'll depend as it goes forward though, because there's a lot of games that you get addicted to for a bit, and then you're like, all right, well, I'm done with that. But with Gaming Crack, I feel like there has been a few this year that have just been like, I want to play something else, but I can't. Like Tears of the Kingdom and Diablo are the most consistent that I've seen when talking with friends, where they want to play something else because their backlog's getting big, or they pause something to just play those and they were going to go back, but they're having too much fun to stop what they're doing. I mean, even Corey was saying recently, he's 89. He wants to get everything done before the first season drops, but he's almost frustrated because he wants to play other stuff now because he's been playing so much, but he can't stop. He's having too much fun with it. So it's definitely a different kind of gaming crack than Vampire Survivors was, where that one was more like a fun, endless loop. I feel like these are just really big games that are big blockbusters that people have been waiting for. But I feel like they still give that similar adrenaline where it's like, just one more, or I just got to keep going for a little bit instead of just, oh, this is a fun game kind of thing, if that makes sense.
Well, it makes sense. But it
Have you
doesn't necessarily
anything yet this year that's like that?
that I just haven't been able to put down. Not
Yeah.
really. I'm gonna be honest. Like even Loop 8, I'm kind of like I play it for a while. Um and then something bad happens, I end up looping, and I'm like, yeah, no, yeah,
I just
no.
realized when you cheated to do the fireballs, you decided when none of them were lit to do it instead of lighting like the three of them and going, I'll just
Yeah,
throw
I
one
was
in.
like, I'm like, can I just do? I was just curious if I could do it at that point.
Hmm. Yeah, and then you're like, oh, I'll just finish.
Yeah, we're gonna go whatever. This is faster. Uh, yeah, we had to bring back the Port Beggars Most Wanted, which will have another vote for stuff. Um,
Yeah.
I kind of hope that we don't have to put Square Games on it, but we have to put Square Games on it, which means they're gonna win. That was the most disappointing
Well,
part about last year was Square winning that category. Like I know people like Final Fantasy is beloved, but like I really want more niche games to come. And
I think it'll be different this year, though. People's relationship with Square on Xbox has been getting worse all year, and there's been a lot of other games that have skipped us that people are still interested in that don't burn us quite as often. Final Fantasy 16 and 7 Remake definitely went down on my list. Not just because I can't play them, but because my interest is just going down over time, and there's many other games I am interested in from companies who don't get off on pissing me off every free titles.
still sealed, guys. Still sealed. Square, balls in your court. You want me to buy your games? You gotta put them on Xbox. You want me to play this? You want me to play
It's gonna
publicity?
be 25 years from now when you have to unseal that, and your kid is already in college, and he's like, "Oh, Dad said he'd never have to unseal that. Now what do we do?"
On my deathbed, you must carry this torch.
Yeah,
You must bear
exactly.
this burden.
You may not understand, but one day you may have to finish this for me.
This is
Is that what Grandpa said? Yeah, that's right. That's what your great grandpa said 300 years ago.
yeah, never gonna happen. Yeah,
One day
so
we may have to fulfill the prophecy.
the prophecy must be fulfilled. Yeah. Does Xbox even exist in 300 years? Who knows? Anyway, um, so
Square still will cover us if it does.
right now I've got if Square exists in 300 years. Anyway, all you need is 2D is the category I've got here. Golden Turd. I have Team Green. I just wrote it as Team Green. Just I don't know what we're gonna set it as finally.
Is
Indie
that like
Jam.
Xbox exclusives?
Yes, I
Okay.
consider that Xbox exclusives.
That's
Or
not fun.
I could bring back the better late than never one, or games
Yeah,
like
it's not bad.
I don't know if we're gonna do that or not, but actually, I could bring back Never Saw It Coming for like because Hi-Fi Rush should probably win that category though because people never saw it coming.
Yeah, that was a literal never saw it coming.
Well, people were I don't know why people get people to make like cover art like
Yeah, super fake and
concept
unrelated cover art.
cancer concept art for these projects. Like I saw the one for what would become South of Midnight or yeah South of Midnight, and after seeing the actual game, that concept art looked nothing like the game,
Not even remotely.
not even remotely.
So Hi-Fi Rush wasn't even the same genre of game. People were
No,
saying
it
it was a
wasn't.
third-person shooter.
Yes, it was third person shooter. It wasn't even. They weren't even right.
This was a rhythm-based action adventure platformer. Maybe because I mean, the worst platforming parts. Yeah,
Mm.
it almost could not be more
Mm.
of a different game. And the art
Uh,
style for the concept art was like kind of dull and
it was very
bland, and
dull. It
then
looked really bland. It's
yeah,
like
and
they
then you look at the actual game and you're like, this is overflowing with color and personality. It could not be farther from what we saw.
yeah. So I'm gonna put Never Saw It Coming is coming back. A
Those
category you
tiny
make for
cats with
another
swords.
game. A category you make for another game, but give it to another game. So that was a giant bomb thing back when they were still good. Before they run entirely by
Yeah.
AI.
Ah, yes, the future past.
The future past. No, they had a category. I believe it was jump that big ass ramp or a big ass ramp, and they gave it to Borderlands, but it was clearly a reference to 50 Cent Blood in the Sands. Yeah, okay. So here's the categories I've got right now. Some of these are not final. Start from the top. All you need is 2D, The Golden Turd, Team Green, Never Saw It Coming, Indie Gem, Game Pass Gem, Port Beggar's Most Wanted, VN Gem, Gems of the West, Gems of Asia, Gaming Crack, Multiplat Gem, JRPG of 2023. I just don't, we haven't had, I was kind of hoping that after E3 time, we would have had at least one like high profile JRPG
You mean in general or announced for Xbox at
announced
some
for
point?
Xbox at all. Like, I, I, I hardly consider Final Fantasy 16 a JRPG. It's a
Oh, it's not.
JRPG in spirit. It's not really the.
Yeah. If people think that is, then people think like The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time is a JRPG. They fall into the same category. It's like a Japanese team made this. That's basically where it starts and ends. There's a genre
Yeah.
you didn't remember to put on there.
What did I
The
miss? Oh,
Haunting
horror.
Gem, the
Yes.
horror spook.
Yeah,
There's
the
been
spook.
so much this year and so much more coming. It's a great year for horror.
It's gonna be the spooks of 2023. Deal with it. Uh, there's also been a lot of remakes.
Yeah, I was thinking about that, but I wasn't sure if that'd be a good category, like best remake, only because of the irony of it, where it's like best game that's been out before.
I'll make it remake slash remaster. It's not permanent. None of these are
Yeah.
permanent.
Yeah, if anything, it's always a moving
JRPG could
piece.
become just RPG of 2023
Yeah.
because that might be fair. I don't want to exclude other RPGs. I don't want to be like, oh, we don't play Western games here, just Japanese games. But
Ew, it's some kind of American trash? Weird
America,
stuff only.
America. Yeah, I just don't know if I want to do like Team Red and Team Blue categories. I'm a
Yeah,
little worried
I
about
mean,
picking those.
maybe when it gets bigger. but this is the first one. We're smaller.
Well,
Like,
this is the second one we're learning, but it's. I did release the data. It just kind of got buried and no one saw it. So
oh no, we had the data. I just mean like for an actual show, we didn't manage to tackle that part.
no,
We
because it
did
just
calculate votes though.
we did
We
calculate votes.
started
The
so
votes
far
happened.
behind.
The votes finished. We started too late. We're starting earlier
Yeah,
this year.
and we were a little too optimistic in our scope for starting so late. We had
Yeah.
made too big of a show.
Mm-hmm. Not enough
We
time to
pulled
get
an
it done.
E3,
Yeah, but
but we're
it's
not going to quit. We're just going to do better going forward.
yeah. We're just gonna try and do better. Yep, that's all we can do. So,
Exactly.
and with my punitive art skills, if people want to volunteer and help out art and whatever, I can offer you street cred. Honestly, we're not making any money on this. I don't. I never started this as a thing that we should have to make money off of. So
Yeah, and that's why by the community for the community. We're not trying to get ads and sponsored. We're not trying to get Senpai Xbox or Kojima to notice us. We're just trying to do something fun for the community and have everyone engage with each other.
yeah, we want. Yeah, we just want to do a show. Want to let people decide, because I think we're all tired of the bullshit Game Awards. It's
Yeah.
so BS. It's pandery
And
and
it's not just that it's BS against Xbox, it's also BS in general. Like, I love certain Sony games and certain Nintendo games and certain Xbox games, but I know when they don't deserve certain categories, and it's depressing to see them win a bunch of stuff that they don't deserve, and then something else that does deserve it just gets cast aside. It's just, it's bad for the industry, in my opinion,
man,
because
imagine
it's the
not
same as
letting
other award shows.
uh imagine not making Animal Crossing Game of the Year when it was literally
Well, no,
a
it
cultural
saved COVID.
phenomenon.
Yeah, literally, everyone's
Cultural
like, I can't go
phenomenon.
outside. I'll lose my mind. I'll play the game where I can build my normal house and hang out with friends. This will keep me sane.
Yeah, it's still bazonkers to me that it didn't win. I don't know
Yeah,
who's on their council, but
they're very anti-furry. They saw the Animal Crossing characters and they're like, nope, thou shalt not tempt me. They just threw the game out.
I don't know. People are weird.
That's an understatement. Actually, your character just went in an elevator. That reminds me. Alyssa, did you go into that room with the elevator and try to use it?
I didn't try and use the elevator, but I saw it.
So you go in and she sits down on like the comfy spot and gets comfortable and pulls the little lever and it looks around and just goes and shrugs and puts her head down and then gets up. I just it reminded me of that. I just wasn't expecting it. It was like you're in this haunted dollhouse. The first thing you do is walk to this elevator and she has this look of like, and really guys? It was just so much frustration at the situation. I couldn't help but laugh.
Yeah,
Seems so out of place.
I don't know. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, as multiplat, I think is going to be the most interesting category this year, and what qualifies for that, I think, is going to
Now,
be.
what are we counting as multiplat?
It has to release on most platforms, and Xbox has to be included.
Okay, that's fair.
So, any game that's like PS5, Xbox Series, PC counts for that category,
Mhm.
but they all have to release in the same year.
What if it's like
Like it's
Switch and
simultaneous
Xbox
release.
only?
Uh, it's Switch and Xbox. I wouldn't count. It can go in one of the other categories. Multiplat means
Mhm.
it needs to be on most
So at least
possible.
3 out of the 4.
For instance, I think
I'm
okay.
not.
What
I'm not counting
I'm gonna
mobile.
give examples.
Sure.
Dead Space and Jedi Survivor here both would qualify because
Yeah, that
they're
makes
on.
sense.
Yeah, anything that's on um, more than one platform. It gets really. It's just kind of my throwing shade at Square
Yeah.
category. Though they might have a game, they have a couple of games, but I don't think Front Mission's gonna really light up the charts. I don't know if
Nah.
it'll. That's what I mean. It's like it's a remake, remaster. Who's gonna care? Like I know Dead Space and like Resident Evil 4 are like big deals, but I don't know. I don't think either of those are gonna win.
No. Not with the competition they have.
Well, multiplat would also be free of Starfield and um, Hi-Fi Rush, which I definitely feel are going to be
Big contenders, the heavy hitters.
they're going to be the ones to beat that category.
Yeah.
I
Although
don't
with
know
Resident Evil
if
4 and go on.
well, because if you're talking horror games, the horror one's probably going to be what uh, Dead Space, Resident Evil 4, Alone in the Dark, Alan Wake 2. But I feel a lot of people are still mad at Alan Wake 2 for not having a physical.
Mhm. I guess my question is, how many submissions are we going to allow for the same game? And I say that because,
Oh, you
as an
mean
example,
multiple categories? I tried to keep it
yeah,
to a
like,
minimum last year.
mhm,
If you're nominated in another one and we need to make room, I think they get bumped.
okay, because as an example with Resident Evil 4, that's multiplat, that's horror, that's remake slash remaster. Not that I
Yeah.
think it would win all those, but we also don't want one game to sweep
I
because
don't I
we're
don't
trying to get some recognition for everything.
yeah, I think we had a couple where one qualified for more than one last year and one more than one platform. I have to look
Mhm.
at the charts quick, which I could do, but I don't want at the
But yeah, I
moment.
think you're right. Every time it's there more than once again, it should go down in uh, necessity. So
Hmm.
like, if it managed to be in free categories, it would be the first in one of them to be dropped for something else.
Yeah, I think it's fair, but we have to decide on what order we're deciding, like which ones. I think if it's okay, if we're talking just like multi-plat games, because this was like Gems of the West, right?
Mhm.
If we have a game like okay, Jedi Survivor will be my example here. So if it's going to be a multi-plat and Gems of the West, I'd rather, and I think Gems of the West should be more like double A games.
Mhm.
So it's like it could qualify for Gems of the West, but I feel like it could stand on its toes in the multi-plat category.
Yeah, and true. Just because it gets nominated in more than one doesn't mean it would win both. So it's not
Well, that's the
necessarily
thing.
that you have to.
After after the categories have their game set in them, they will not
Mhm.
be altered.
Yeah,
So
at a certain point, we should say.
as soon as the voting is started, everyone's as soon as we've opened them up to votes, the categories will not change and the document will not be edited unless there's like a spelling mistake or something like that.
Yeah. And we should also clarify whenever we decide the date when the cutoff will be, because that means even if a game is cool,
Uh,
but it came out after that, we're not going to count it. Nobody's able to play it. It can count to the next year.
I
None
think
of that.
the voting will start. I want to say end of November, beginning of December.
Yeah, that's what I was assuming. And not that, games around then aren't cool, but if something releases a day and a half before the end date, just probably not going to make the list. It technically would qualify, but not a lot of people will have played it. And if it launches the day after the voting, we're not able to put it on there. We're trying to be fair about this. We're not going to do what
Yeah,
they
because
did
the
with
thing it's like it's not fair to the people voting either. You know, if we're
exactly.
like, oh, this game comes out in December 1st,
Yeah.
and it's like,
Make sure you guys play this
yeah,
so
play
it
the whole
counts for
game
the other
through in
thing.
December 1st, so you can. It's this
Yeah,
isn't a
that's
movie
not
where
fair
you
to
can just
anyone.
yeah, it's not a movie where you can watch it in like a week. Uh,
Exactly.
October's already
Plus
packed.
that yeah, You can just make it count for the next year. Like if it doesn't count for this one, then logically it can count for the next one. It's not like if it misses the cutoff, it misses both, and it can never count. Like we're pretty open to making it fair here. We don't want to make anyone feel like the game isn't worth their time or that it's not valuable. Especially if you have a good experience with it and you want to share that with the community. One of the categories I was almost thinking of, I don't want to say best story told, but like the most emotional or at least the most heartfelt. I want one for like, I don't know if I'd say best writing. Basically, the one that hit you the hardest, got in your feels that year. Like, because
Uh,
there are definitely some games that I wouldn't say are great gameplay wise, but the story is so good or the characters are so believable
the
that
one
like
issue with a category like that is it's going to be
it's
so
super
different from
opinion based.
it's going to be super opinion based and super
Yeah,
dependent on everyone involved. Like some people will react more to certain scenes than others,
yeah.
but it's like I, I'm not against having a category like that,
Hmm.
but the issue is like someone could have an emotional attachment to a game that's completely different from anyone else's.
Yeah, we might have to specify like, you know, a specific scene, like the best scene that
Uh,
did something this way, kind of thing.
that'd be
Like,
spoilery.
fun. That's. I guess this will just be something on the back burner to brainstorm. Like, if there's a way to make it more objective without spoiling anything, or because it almost makes me think of like at the Oscars and stuff. Sometimes besides just a specific award, it's like who did this specific thing best, or comparing a certain scene
Oh,
that's
you
similar
want
or
like
covers.
if you want like best actor. I
Yeah, exactly.
I have an issue with like best actor or voice actor, partly because if okay, here's the problem. If we're doing more than one language, like we're doing Japanese, English, and
Yeah, then there's
Mandarin,
different
there could
different winners.
there could be three different dubs, or there could just be one dub.
Yeah. If
And
anything, I feel like we'd have to do them together, where it would be like the English versus the Japanese versus the Puerto Rican. Like you wouldn't be able to say here's the best English one, then here's the best Japanese. You'd have to compare all of them together, and it wouldn't be easy because some people prefer one or don't know the other. It almost brings up the sub versus dub kind of debate where it's like,
yeah, and I don't want to be that just kind of tears people apart rather than
yeah, then bring them together.
we could do character design though.
Yeah,
Like like a best new character or best character design.
yeah. And in the same way that we're trying to focus on indies, we could do best up and coming, blah, 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 and just focus on some of the smaller things that usually don't get that limelight.
Well, that's why I have like the 2D category too.
Yeah.
And there's a the indie game is not necessarily the best. That's the thing. I don't think calling like I try to avoid best of best
Hmm.
in any of these. Partly because it's it implies that these that anyone that doesn't win the category is bad. Like being because the thing is you're nominated for something and you don't win, people acting
See,
like
it's
it's
hard
bad.
though. Yeah,
It
but then
is.
at the same time, it's like, what does that make all the things that didn't even get nominated? Like, I totally understand what you're saying, but at the same time, I don't know of a better word to say besides best, because if you say like great compared to goods, or I feel like people should know that there is opinions on this because as humans, everything's opinionated, but it doesn't devalue the other ones. It's just, you may focus on this one more. Like, if 500 people say this game's great, but 499 people say this other game's great, technically the one of 500 won, but it doesn't invalidate the other 499 greats. It just means some people preferred this one, so it won that prize. But it doesn't mean the other one lost everything. You know what I mean? Like, I can see both sides of it, but I feel like if as long as we talk about going into this, the reason we're here, every game is great. These are the ones that have been the hot topics lately, but just because you're not announced here or just because you don't win your nomination doesn't mean you're not a good game. I feel like we would want to present going forward that like we're gamers. We literally love gaming. There's no such I shouldn't say there's no such thing as a bad game, but you know what I mean. Just because you don't win today doesn't mean people didn't enjoy your game.
Yeah. Oh, best debut or debut studio is what you want. That's what you want. I think best character could work too, like favorite character. We know who's gonna win that category
Yeah.
though. I don't have to
Does it
say
remind? Does it rhyme with pie or schmepperschmint?
it. You know who's the favorite in that game. You
Yeah,
know who it is.
but I don't know.
It's
I don't know
neither
what
of
word would
them.
rhyme with that.
It's neither of them.
What rhymes with 808? Is it
It's
Bob?
Yao Ya. Yao Ya. Uh, favorite new character. Yeah, let's go with
Yeah.
new
Should we
character.
do something like new new IP? Because since we're doing something like remake or remaster, it would almost be like an opposite category of this is the first of its
I feel
kind of
like
thing.
okay, I'm gonna be honest. I feel like if you throw in new IP, it's gonna be we're gonna have like so many people be like, "Yo, Hi-Fi Rush is like the best fucking game ever," and I'm not gonna deny that because they got Dio. If you don't play that in
Yeah,
the Japanese dub, guys, I'm sorry. Dio kills Dio.
I
Love it.
mean, the game in general was just there was so much love. I loved all the nods to some of their previous games. Like you can even find their mascot grooving out to
I,
music, and then
I
he
thought
gets
his name's
angry with the
Tango.
floating. Is it?
I'm pretty sure it's Tango.
That would make sense. I just don't. I didn't want to name drop without
I'm
confirming.
pretty sure it's called Tango. I don't know. They do a lot of that stuff in all their games. Like when I was playing uh Ghostwire Tokyo, I went in that one building and people were like, "Oh, it's Tango," and
Yeah,
I'm like, literally, this is Tango on the sign. I can't
yeah.
read it.
Ugh, that was such a cute Easter egg, though. The little snail's grooving, and then he sees the music and gets mad and starts jump kicking it and karateing them. And you can find Sebastian, and there's so many cute nods. I appreciate that kind of stuff. Not necessarily saying everything takes place in the same world, but just letting little Easter eggs interact with each other for fun. That's cute. We have fun here.
I say that if we do favorite new character, we that's gonna have to be like fan decided. Like I don't want to have
Yeah,
too many votes though, because if you have too many votes, then people are
yeah,
gonna burn out. Because we're gonna have to do Port Beggar's Most Wanted as a vote. So is
yeah.
best favorite new character gonna be one?
I think
The
that's a
fan
good
favorite.
one. Although, honestly, best Easter egg could be a cute one for the community too.
That could be
Since
spoilery, but
possibly, but
the more
I
you
think
make people have
sometimes.
to, cause the thing is, I feel like we get diminishing returns though. Like if we do, I saw this with the Port Beggar's Most Wanted
Mhm.
versus the actual show one. Is I got a couple more, not couple, like it was there was more people responded to the Port Beggars one than to the final one. I don't know if that's just
I
because I got more traction.
mhm. I think for some of these it would have to be narrowed down first, but they'd be more fun for the final vote, where it's like you're picking from six. It'd be easier then. Before that, it might just be the kind of thing you gauge the community with while you're talking with them, or other stuff, but not necessarily vote. Like almost if you had a best Easter egg or just this isn't a category, but just making something up like best Forge map if you were doing Halo or something. Instead of telling people, "Hey, tell us your favorite one," just listen to the community while you're playing and pick up on what people have been doing and what people are enjoying. I almost feel like that's how some of this should be decided. It's just listening to the
I feel
community
like
over time up to
weekly
then.
votes could be like weekly votes going in for some of this stuff. Like,
Yeah.
favorite new characters who gets nominated for the final one.
Yeah, exactly. Just kind of stuff over time instead of just one big
If
thing that's like,
if we
hey,
have to,
spend 20 minutes of your day.
well, I don't want it to be 20 minutes. The thing is, you could do the other one very
Exactly.
quickly.
Yeah.
There
Well, that's what I
was
mean. I don't
you.
want it to
It
be
was
too big and scary.
yeah. It was 2 pages. Um, like it was a 3 page. It was actually technically a 4 page survey, but you only had to do one. Uh,
Hmm.
there was you went in. There was page one, which is like, which language do you want? It dumped you into the other one. There was no email required. We weren't scalping for data. There was an option to verify via email, but I don't think we're big enough for that to actually matter.
Yeah. There's gonna be one guy that makes 6,000 accounts. All
I
of my
don't.
games will
The th-
win.
if you want to vote 6,000 times, sure. Then maybe if I saw 6,000 votes come in at the same,
You're like, wow, he's
well,
dedicated.
here's the
Who am I to judge?
you can actually delete them on the back end.
Yeah.
You can look. I can since there's no identifying information in them.
Mhm.
The thing was, it was kind of fun because I looked through them because it's like, oh, we could use this to make like the charts populate,
Mhm.
and I couldn't get it to work the way I wanted to, so I just kind of dropped it because it'd be cool. It'd be like tabulate the votes, and it would vote completely.
Yeah.
Oh my god, chat is dumb right now.
What happened?
Uh, I'm not saying it on stream, but I implied a thing, and then things are getting weird. Anyway, um, I definitely feel like we're gonna have to do a bunch of stuff, and I think if we're gonna start doing weekly votes, it's gonna be start soon. I think community weeks are gonna be the thing, and I think starting with people's favorite new character, and we're gonna have to. See, that's the thing. Like, we could include Overwatch characters too, actually,
Yeah.
because
I mean,
there was new Overwatch characters for this year, a bunch of them actually.
yeah. I
So
mean, it doesn't have to be a specific category. It doesn't have to be an exclusive or a character from a horror. Like, you can pick anything you want as long as it's technically a character.
I'd rather it be like a new character though, like someone who's new, not
Yeah.
someone who's not. Because the thing is,
Yeah.
like, old
Not
characters get a
Master
lot of
Chief
things.
and so, yeah, someone else that's
If you
trying to
got
get
a
the
new
spotlight.
game, this would be a fun one. I think it'd be. I would like to do more fun community vote type ones, like having because that's the thing. You can put images in for the thing, so it could be like, here's the characters. Because some people might not know them by name, especially if the name gets is a Japanese or another language, and they'll be like, "Oh yeah, I love that character." So showing them the character and the name.
Yeah.
But was there any Game Pass titles announced this week? I don't think there were.
Uh, like announced or like released?
For coming, like I know there was some released, but
Yeah, there were a couple that came out, but there hasn't been anything that's like new that's been mentioned.
stuff we already talked about. Okay, that's fine. I just didn't know because gotta wrap it up,
Yeah,
and I
the only
just wanted
thing I
to
was gonna
look.
say is Arcade Paradise is on Game Pass. I don't know if anyone has played it yet. Highly recommend it. It's a lot of fun. Uh, it's very nostalgic, and it's also a really cool idea. I love seeing this kind of thing. It's definitely a passion project with love. Uh, you can see how much care went into it. So definitely my recommendation of the week. Game Pass recommendation, I should say.
That's your Game Pass recommendation of the week. I have yet to start Sword and Fairy 7. I downloaded
Same.
it, I looked at it, and I've yet to start
Yeah.
it. And then I bought
I
Jedi
want to, but I'm
Survivor.
trying to get.
It was like,
Yeah. I'm trying to get through some of the smaller ones before I start something else that's decently big. I know it's not
um,
huge, but it's decently big.
Game Pass game I played this week. There was one I played this week. What was it? I gotta look. I'm gonna be honest. It's been like playing games that I bought mostly.
You buy video games?
Buying
Gross.
games. Gross. Yep.
Next, you'll tell me you support the industry instead of pirating everything. Although, speaking of that, there's actually a joke of that in, I think it was from Punch Club. Trying to look back and see. It might have been. It was one of the demos I played, and it was like, have you ever played a game like this? And then it was like, have you ever bought a game like this? Or piracy? Because, piracy is illegal, and I have to beat you up if you did that.
Oh, can I finally pre-install it for Exo Primal?
I hope so. It let me do
Oh,
it.
it did it. It did. It did install. Okay. It's 45.
Okay.
Whoa, it's smaller than I thought it would be. It's only
It's
45
smaller
point.
than I thought it would be, but it's still bigger than I hoped it would be.
I've got a strange expansion card now, so I've got games there. So I just wanted to check to make sure it was ready. Yeah.
I
If
heard
I
that
had to
people can
pick,
play it tomorrow too.
we'll see. If we can play it tomorrow, I'll play it tomorrow. But it's a Game Pass game I recommend to people because I Comet Hood. What's this? I haven't seen this before. What is this?
That's the one I think I was telling you about the other day, and you were like, "No, crafting."
Oh, it's the
It,
survival one. Oh, never mind.
but it's the one where you can like share the things you build with the community, and we were talking about how we were worried that it was gonna get
You
super
kept
abused.
talking, and I looked at it, and you kept saying it. I'm like, oh, huh.
Like every time I read more of the
You
description,
kept
you were
saying
like,
more. I'm
"Oh
like,
no."
that's not a good idea. Uh,
Quick shout out to the Alyssa gameplay that you're showing. I love the sound this dude makes when he falls into the pit for like a
uh.
second. He's like, oh. I was like, oh man, he must have fell really far, and then it's like 2 feet.
Damn, he's gone. If I had to pick a Game Pass game to recommend people play this week,
And it doesn't necessarily have to be a new Game Pass game. I mean,
yeah.
as
So
long as it's
I
something
was
you've
just
enjoyed.
looking because I thought of one, but I'm like, is it still on Game Pass? And it's not.
Very true. I've unfortunately done that where I'll recommend a game to someone on Game Pass, and they'll be like, yeah, that game actually wasn't on there. I was like, oh, oh, my bad. Because I forget, like, I've bought it since then.
Yeah, I still got it. I still play it.
Yeah, I still play it. Your Game Pass must be broken.
Yeah, man, your Game Pass is broken. Uh,
Sounds like someone's Game Pass isn't very ultimate.
yeah, man. Like, what's wrong with that? I don't want to take the easy way out. Wait, Persona 5 Tactica is coming to Game Pass? I didn't realize it was coming to Game Pass.
Yeah,
Oh shit.
yeah, that one in Persona 3, but I don't think Memento is,
I don't think it would be
which is
either.
fine. I mean, I don't mind supporting them. They've been very cool with us. You could recommend GTA 5 for like the ninth time.
I never played GTA 5. I'm still not going to play GTA 5 because I don't care about GTA 5. F
What about
Rockstar. Right up the Rockstar
GTA
butt.
6? Oh, that's right. The Story of Seasons came out. That one's got like five
Yeah,
stars.
that is
People have
not a
been
me.
liking it.
That's not a me kind of game, though.
It's more like a you kind of game.
I take the easy way out for a recommendation.
That sounds depressing. Go
Oh,
on.
take the easy. I mean, Singalis is still here. That's a great game. Um, Proteus is good. Is good.
Proteus is great.
Yeah.
It's a good problem to have when you're looking for games and like, oh, there's too many good ones. What do I say?
Which one do I recommend?
Which one do I shoot? Which one's the real one?
Yeah, Loop Hero's okay. I I appreciate Loop Hero, but I kind of just always just do something else while I'm watching and then I just die. Watching something
Hmm.
else and I just die because I'm not paying attention. Because I forgot the game was.
Coming soon.
Yeah, it's been good coming
Oh,
soon.
I can pre-install Tactica now.
Is it just the 300 and whatever megabytes, or is it the whole thing? I've been meaning to
I
try
don't know.
Fist actually because the thought of a bunny with a
Yeah, is that
mechanical
the big
arm.
hand?
Yeah,
I mean, arm.
but it's like an
Big
extra arm. It's
hand.
not his real arm. It's not like it replaced his arm. It looks like
Oh,
Dreamscaper, Doom. Yeah, I
I
like
mean, if you can't think
Dissenters.
of one, you could always recommend Amogus. Do do do.
Yeah, yeah, I didn't play any new ones. Contrast is like always a solid pick in my opinion. It's also not going anywhere.
Yeah, I'm still hoping to see something cool from them soon.
That's South of Midnight, man.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like
Play
something
the game.
instead of the
Like,
concept.
play the game. I want to play the game soon. Yeah, Contrast is great. I kind of wish it got an X port,
Yeah,
but they're small. It's also an Unreal
yeah,
3
it's
game.
understandable. Exactly. At that point, it would be almost like, do we remaster it?
I don't know if it's worth remastering. I don't want it. I want to sound like
Exactly.
it's because then you might lose something in translation.
Yeah.
Evil Within 2 is still good. I'm kind of excited to play Exo Primal. Exo 1, what is this?
Spelunker 2.
Spelunky 2 is
Leaving
one
in
of those games that I
2
don't like.
days.
Oh, it's leaving,
I
yeah.
love it because it's so chaotic, but it's even harder with friends because friendly fire is possible, and it
Accidentally killing everyone.
yeah, it devolves into chaos so quick. And when you die, you turn into a ghost that can help your friends or make it much harder. And of course, friends usually blow you into an enemy, and you're like, why? And then die horribly.
Just looking quick. Looking soon.
Farming
Exo 1
Simulator 2022.
is always Farming Simulator. Because you played Crisis, you might like to play the Perfect Dark Zero. I tried to play it. It's really hard to play. I don't like it that much. I'm hoping the new one's better. Mass Effect. Ugh. It's funny that they recommended Mass Effect, and not Legendary Edition Mass Effect.
I forgot this was still on Game Pass.
What was?
I thought it Marvel Avengers. Thought it left.
No, they're shutting down the servers on September, aren't they? It's gonna be just single
Uh,
player only after that.
I thought it was a little bit longer than that, but I'm not sure.
I
Let's
don't
see if
know.
it
Avengers
mentions
is.
anything on here.
I think it's at the store. Hmm. Was there anything
I'm
cool
not
coming up that we should
seeing
talk about
anything.
besides Exoprimal?
Uh, yes, I think.
There was a
Trying to
game that
remember
was
if
cool.
this. Yeah, I'm trying to remember if this comes out within a week's
Hmm.
time. Let me double check. Uh, well, there is that EDO thing, and
I
No,
go in the
Remnant
store, am I
2
gonna see it?
in the coming soon? Yeah. Um,
Hold on, I'll
I
switch over.
think Remnant 2 is coming in a week. Or no, maybe that's the special edition where you get a few
Oh
days
yeah,
early.
EDO Zombie Uprising. It's tomorrow.
Yeah. And there's also the Terrible Girls second encore coming.
Word of wisdom. Yeah, I'm mad at them.
I am too.
Don't buy it. Don't buy it, everyone.
At least don't buy this version. In fact,
No, don't
if
buy
you
any
own it on the
version because
computer,
they went back and censored the other ones.
I was about to say, well, yeah, I wouldn't buy it now, but if you own it, there's actually a way to reverse all of that stuff. I forget where exactly the website is, but there's a tweet that's been going around that has all the instructions on how to restore it to the way it was and still be able to play it both on and offline with all of the content back to the way it was. Um, so if that's what you have on the computer and you're interested in that, definitely check that out. But do not give the money at the moment. They've taken away content that they promised. They've censored stuff. They've removed stuff from, stuff they've sold, like a digital art book. They've revoked
Yeah.
certain stuff there. Very not cool actions.
Yeah, very not.
You don't love to see it, actually.
Yeah,
Should we
it
bring up
was.
anything about Amari?
I don't even know what's going on with that. Did we get any confirmation?
From them, no. Just some of the rumors going around
I
about,
don't want to. I don't want to rumor monger. I did
yeah,
read some of them. The evidence is damning, but I don't know.
yeah.
The fact that it got removed from other storefronts kind of.
Yeah, it makes me think of the damning evidence part and not the weird one that someone's like, I heard she doesn't like Xbox. Like, maybe that's true, but I can't imagine you would want to sell games less.
Yeah, but the thing is, it got removed from other.
Yeah, that's what made me think that it makes
It
even
got
less
removed from
sense
other
for that.
storefronts, which means that there's another problem with it. So I'm
Yeah,
not the arbiter of telling you what to do, but I can tell you that the situation is absolutely bizarre, and
yeah,
I don't know what's going on with it, and I don't want to add to the rumor.
definitely. And if you were interested in the game, don't listen to stupid people who say things like, you should have known once it left Game Pass you wouldn't be able to buy it, because that's not a normal thing. That's not
No,
a
it's
thing that ever
not.
happens,
It's never been
and
a
you
normal
shouldn't
thing.
be gaslit into that. There's been
Yep.
people going around that are like, if you didn't buy it yet, you definitely weren't gonna. You don't deserve it. No, don't listen to stupid people.
Yeah, those people are really dumb. That's the thing. It's like you could have been, you could have just forgot about it. It happens.
Yeah. To be fair, it's been in my backlog, and I was probably going to buy it after playing it, but I never even got to play it because the backlog was so big. Now I don't have opportunities. So, like, I didn't buy it, but I definitely would have if I had been playing it.
I mean, if I could have bought it, I would have bought it. Like, like that's the thing. Now you can never buy it.
Exoprimal.
Yeah, Exoprimal's the big one this week. This is
Yeah.
Lisa.
And for
Good
all the
choice.
shit and memes it got from people, because they were like, man, a live service type game with robots and dinosaurs, why doesn't Capcom just make stuff I like? And then, like, to see how it looks and at me having played it, I'm like, I know why they made this. I'm excited.
The thing is that I never was like, oh, I'm never gonna play. This looks stupid. I was just mad that it wasn't Dino Crisis.
Yeah.
They got me. They got me for half a
Yeah.
second. I thought it was Dino Crisis, and then they're like,
Yeah, because if you look at her
yoink!
from the back,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
you
You
see
see her from the
dinosaur,
side,
yeah,
and you're
you
like,
look at her from the
that's
back, yeah.
Vegeta, and you're like, it's Dino Crisis, and it's like, no, it's not Dino Crisis. Son of a bitch.
You see a dinosaur run by, you see her, and you're like, there's no way. And they're like, correct, there is no way. Welcome to Exoprimal. You're like, oh.
Why are there three versions of Lisa?
I think it's that
The
there's the game
joyful
itself.
edition, the painful edition, and
I think they're different games.
they don't look that different. I don't know. They're just trying to get more money, but they're more expensive progressively.
Wait, look at one of them. I think there's
Look,
one that
it's
comes with both.
12.79, 25.99.
Yeah, I think it's the game, the sequel, and then both of them.
Yeah, never mind. It's fine. I don't care. Why wouldn't you call them two different things? Oh, kidding.
What? Because they're not the same game.
Why would you call them both Lisa when one clearly has a dude as the protagonist?
I think they both have a dude. I think it's Lisa's dad. I don't remember a lot about the game. I remember hearing
Lisa's
about it, and
dead.
I was like, "This looks cool," and then I just never got to it. Oh, look, it's the little wizard guy you were just playing as.
No,
Man, his
it's
game looks
not.
different.
It's different. That's not. Punch Club 2. This is the one you were playing, right?
Yeah, I definitely recommend it. From what I've played, it was fun, and I enjoyed the humor. The gameplay itself was good.
That's still a little ways out. Oh god, we're almost through July. Shit. Anyway, uh,
That's only 8 days away now. Oh, a week from tomorrow is crazy.
Remnant 2. I didn't know Remnant 2 was that close. Jesus. The Expanse. I'm just looking at these quick. Alice Falls. That's August, right?
I believe so, unless they've moved it forward.
So, this one looks cool, but like, yeah, no. Oh my god, look how
Which
close we are to
one?
Starfield. What is
Oh,
this
more.
Starfield? Hold on. This one comes out before, right?
Which one?
Yeah, the premium edition comes out in end of August. Oh my god, how am I gonna have time for games? Oh,
Look what else is coming out that week too. You got Armored Core. You got Sea of Stars. It's a big week.
I'm gonna have no money.
Joke's on you. I already have no money.
Joke's
Way
on
ahead of you.
you. I bought the overpriced watch edition. I have to check when
Woo! The
that
collector's
ships.
one, or
Yeah.
I
Yep.
still wanted to get it, but it's a little too much for me right now.
Dude, it's like that's just a console. It's more than you play it on a Series S, it's more than the Series S.
I know.
That's the joke. I'm just like, yeah, whatever, guys. Yeah, I'll do it. Fucking
It looks
I
dope though. 100%.
I have a feeling that um GameStop is going to cancel it
Oh.
on me. I just have a feeling.
Now is this GameStop or GameStop?
No, it's just GameStop. I don't usually
Because
shop from
according to
GameStop.
according to Stonks, it's GameStop.
Stonks.
I'm definitely
So
excited to play more of that. I think as it opens up, it
when
got
does it
more
come
fun.
out? Did they have a
I
release
have
date?
no idea. I've
Oh
never
my
even
god,
heard
it's
of it
super.
before the
I'm gonna have so
Xbox.
many. You guys don't understand. People don't understand. I'm gonna have so many games on my backlog.
Like Bomberman and Payday and the
Okay,
Dragon
can we
Quest
can we
game.
talk for a second there, there, Remedy? If you're gonna have $106 version of your game, why not just do only a collector's physical? Jackasses.
Also, seeing the word expansion pass day one on my horror game makes me upset.
Yeah, I might just wait. Though, I gotta be honest, Alone in the Dark has definitely got my attention.
Yeah, and I
I don't
appreciate
know
it
how
because the deluxe version of that doesn't come with like an expansion pass day one, blah blah blah. It's like no, it's just here's some extra content, behind the
director
scenes stuff.
commentary mode.
Yeah, and that's cool if you want
Oh
to know
wait,
more
this
about the
is out this
game.
year too?
Yeah, that's coming out near the end of October. It's right next to the Alan Wake. Plus, we got the Yakuza game, and then we got Persona 5 Tactical Titties. Like a Dorgan.
I need to figure out when that they're taking the money for that. Oh my god.
They're just gonna take extra, and they're like, "You'll be back. Don't worry. We'll keep this for the next one."
Oh, I don't buy from GameStop normally. They're like my last resort for stuff. I'd rather go to VG Plus
Would you
or
rather go to
Iceman.
LRG?
Oh, I don't need to go to LRG. I did go to the site, but they don't have any of the stuff listed. Maybe they have it now.
And this is only what we know it's been
No, it just
announced.
links to a video, and I wanted to just have a list of them. But yeah, I don't use LRG to buy LRG stuff. I use VG Plus because VG Plus distributes in Canada.
Okay.
Is this a spin-off? Like, it's gonna be a shorter, like a dragon game, or?
I have to imagine since it's a smaller price point at launch, and it hasn't been focused on as much as the other one. I'm
I'm gonna
assuming it's going
wish
to be more
list it.
like
I'm gonna wish
Type
list it,
Zero.
but I'm gonna be honest. Okay, the Japanese one for title for this is actually Ryugagoto 7, the man who erased his name. So it's actually attached to 7. So I'm assuming I'm gonna have to play it. But I should beat like a Dragon Ishin first. Oh,
I still have
Infinity
to do
Slash comes
Ishin.
out.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. There, in that little area, there's a bunch. There's an SAO game I'm interested in. There's Payday. There's Lamplighters.
Yeah, I need to figure out
There's the
when the
Cyberpunk thing for you.
I'm not playing the Cyberpunk expansion right away. I'm gonna wait a bit. I just can't afford all these games. It's not going anywhere.
Fair. What if it pulls an Omari and it leaves? It just is off. It's like you didn't pay me quick enough. Goodbye.
I'd be very surprised that happened.
You same.
Um,
Although I've seen crazier from them. Doesn't Mortal Kombat come out right around that time too?
yeah, I'm not gonna. I never buy Mortal Kombat at launch anymore.
Oh yeah, I don't plan to either, but that's gonna be the whole fall in general. Insane.
The thing is,
There's a
I'm
new
not.
Assassin's Creed. Then there's Lords of the Fallen's remake.
Uh-oh, phone ring. That might end our stream early.
Oh god.
Never got an answer from the ships. Yep, she did.